Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, I'm Ashton Gene Lewis. This is the Broke Boys Sports Podcast. My co-host Martin Pape is here, live and in prime time. We have a very special guest with us, but we'll talk about him and where he's from in just a little bit here on the show. Martin, we had really a lot to talk about in sports as a whole, because guess what? We've been watching basketball every single day since about noon until about 11 o'clock at night. And I can't say that it could be a lot worse, man. But I do need you, Martin, off the top to tell the people about our sponsor, and then we can introduce people to our guest.
Yeah, our sponsor over at Thrive. Let me pull it up. They have got their football stuff up and ready to go ahead of the season kicking off next week. So hashtag prop up. If you're into prop bets, watching the big game and stuff like that, daily fantasy sports is up and coming. And one of the things that's really exciting is the prop bets of things, and the football season is kicking off. They've got touchdown only. If you like the NFL red zone type of thing, think of that. Go ahead and download Thrive Fantasy on the Google App Store or the iPhone App Store. I messed that one. Google Store, whatever you can download it on. Go ahead and download it. Use the code BROKEBOY, and if once you put $20 down, you'll get $20 back. They've already got the NFL Thursday night game between the Chiefs and the Houston Texans. There's a special $25 entry game, $2,500 going to first. Then on the first NFL Sunday of the season, a $25 entry, $5,500 going for first. And if you're into touchdown-only props, the $20 entry one, $2,500 going to first. Again, download Thrive Fantasy, use the code BROKEBOY, and there you go. You'll get a free $20 back once you put $20 down.
And ladies and gentlemen, and really, he could just show you his mustache and you know exactly who it was. He's got the best one in the game right now, straight out of quarantine. A man from hell. It is Vinc Pichel of the UFC, ladies and gentlemen. Great MMA fighter, coming off a big win over a legendary vet in the game, in the fight game. Vince, how you doing, man?
What's up, Ash? I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty well.
Can't complain too much, man. And I start off the conversation by asking you pretty simply here, man. You've had a bunch of injuries that have set you back and gone through a long path to get back to the point where you were last weekend, man. How'd you celebrate?
Nothing too crazy. Just chilled, hanging out with some peeps, some other fighters. My manager, we were all in the house. We all got tested for COVID, so we're all like, let's just chill in the house together. You know what I mean? Make sure we don't
Right.
accidentally get it and can't fight soon. You know what I mean? As soon as we're healed. So just hung out, drank some beers. You know what I mean? Relaxed, chilled with some peeps, and kept it pretty quiet. Honestly, just had to. We had to make a few changes because of the COVID and things going on, but it was actually a good night. It was a good, fun night.
And
Where'd you quarantine at, man?
Yeah, that was my next question. Where were you at?
Out in Vegas, just hanging out with my manager. He's got a house out there. He actually is just moving out there too. So just hanging out with him at the house. All the fighters, Pineda was there. Marlon Vettel was there.
Hey, we're from Houston. We're big fans of Daniel Pineda. He's from around here. He's born in Dallas, but he trains in Houston. So.
Yeah, he did good, man. He did good. He took out Burns.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think he was what was it? His fight was deemed ineligible for fight of the night because of a weight thing or something like that. I don't know, but it was great.
Yeah, he missed weight.
Yeah, he did great though. Got the win, and Burns looked pretty good out there too. But that was pretty exciting, man. But we talk about the UFC making it to that point, man. You've got 2 losses on your entire career so far. You've been very successful when it comes to punching dudes in the face inside of an octagon. Has the smaller octagon made a big difference for you? Because that's been like the talk of the town in MMA Twitter, talking about how the knockouts are higher because the octagon's smaller and stuff.
No, not really. It's just phone book fighting, right? And that's kind of funny. I like to do. So I don't really mind the small octagon. The big one's nice because you got all the room in the world, right, to dance around and kind of, if you don't feel comfortable at all, you could always just re-engage or disengage and re-engage later. But definitely the small.
I can learn to understand.
No doubt. And I was going to ask, you're a California guy, man. You mentioned before we started this broadcast, you're not much of a sports guy. What kind of guy are you? Like, what category you fall under? I know you're a Twitch streamer, you're a Twitch streamer. You're an MMA fighter, not a sports guy though. What's the deal? What kind of guy would you define yourself as?
I don't know, man. Like I'm honestly into everything, right? I'm not like a fan where I'm like super into any one thing. I got my feelers everywhere, right? Like, so it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I'm just not super hardcore fan of really any one particular thing, right? Like I watch sports, like I watch playoffs, I watch like the World Series, right? I watch Super Bowl, I watch things like that. But typically, I won't like watch stuff like that. Fighting's the same way. I'll watch if my friends are fighting, or someone I want to fight, or someone who I'm looking at possibly that I'd be fighting in the future. Then I watch. But other than that, I typically don't watch either.
Gotcha.
Now, like going back to the start of your career, when did you first realize that you're actually like pretty damn good at fighting in MMA especially?
I always knew I was a good fighter.
Mm,
I've been fighting my whole life, fighting the streets. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But
What's your record, man? What's the street fight record?
honestly, I've lost one fight in the streets, and I can't even
Wow.
count how many times I've won or made people run from me. But I, uh, I naturally picked it up quick, and the thing that I was worried about was losing or was learning like all the grappling and learning all the intricate things of fighting, right? Like the things to keep you safe in a fight, because there's so many people that lack a lot of that stuff that they don't have the wherewithal to keep themselves safe in a dangerous position or situation. So I really worked a lot on that, and luckily I'm ambidextrous too, so that helps a lot. Some things I do left, some things I do right-handed. That kind of throws off a lot of guys. So if I notice right away if someone's got a power side, like in jiu-jitsu, I could always go to the other side. You know what I mean, knowing that that's their weak side. So I always had that. I'm a very quick learner, and right off the bat, you know what I mean. I went 7-0, all knockouts in the first or second round shortly. So I definitely felt like I had a special ability in fighting and belonged as a fighter.
And man, you got on your credentials training at Big John McCarthy's gym and everything like that, man. How often is Big John in the facility, and what's the vibe like there, man? It's just amazing because Big John's like, the iconic next to Herb Dean, he's the iconic UFC referee. What was the deal there? How'd you end up there?
Well, when I first started training, I was training at a gym out here in Simi where I live, and I was there for like a month or two, and it kind of had a falling out with the gym. I was gonna stop training and just go back to work because I was an electrician already. I was making good money,
Right.
and so one of my buddies was like, "Hey, Big John's is having fight team tryouts." This was in 2007. He's like, "Hey, he's having fight team tryouts. You should try out." So I tried out for the fight team. I had less than 2 months experience of training any kind of martial art and anything. Right, I was just a scrappy dude that punches like a truck. So they put me in the mid pile. They ended up taking me, and I kind of ran with it. Big John's is actually closed now, and there's been some changes to my camps and my gyms. But now I'm at Peterson Grapplers, which is basically around the corner from where Big John's was, and that's my coach Brian, who was my coach at Big John's as well. But
Nice.
Big John used to go in the gym pretty rarely though, or not rarely, but he would go in there kind of a lot. Um, and then I went on the Ultimate Fighter. You know what I mean? I came back, and then I would see him here and there. That's when I started training Alliance. So
I was gonna say, man, speaking of the Ultimate Fighter, what was the house like with the infinite amount of alcohol available, and also in a house full of people who are more than okay with getting into a Street Fighter too?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was good. It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a complete shit show. I thought people were going to get on my fucking nerves. I thought it was going to be just a time bomb waiting to go off, basically. But
Right.
it wasn't that at all. It was actually really cool. All the guys are cool. Even the guys on the other team were really cool. We didn't have any problems, no fights. We had like one mishap or two, but nothing real major, right?
Mhm.
But actually, it was really dope, and it was a really fun experience. I don't know if I'd do it again, but I'm definitely glad that I did do it.
Yeah, it's for the younger guys. You're once again seasoned in the game, man. You got a ton of wins under your belt. There's no reason for you to lock yourself in a giant locker room with a bunch of dudes who probably are not very hygienic.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Ultimate Fighter, since then you've only lost this one fight, and every single time you went to the judges, unanimous, 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 unanimous. Do you think that puts a little bit of fear into your opponent? Like if they don't get you to tap or knock you out, that you have the skills to outbox them in the eyes of the judge, or outfight them, excuse me, in the eyes of the judges?
Yeah, because I think it's because of my fighting style, right? Like I'm a
Mhm.
slow starter, but then I start steamrolling, and
right.
you're gonna have to stop me, right?
Yep.
So I think so. A lot of guys know that about me now. I know they know that I'm a striker. I'm more of a striker. I like striking more. And now people know that I'm a hell of a grappler too. So Motherfucker should be scared, right?
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
My question is just going to be, one of the things we hear about when it does go to the judges is like the octagon control. As a fighter, what do you think goes into controlling the octagon?
I think it's more than just like who has the center of the ring. I think it's more of who actually is controlling the pace. And in
Right.
that aspect, I mean, like you could be on the outside, but if you're the one that's coming in picking shots and you're just moving, the guy can't touch you. You're obviously controlling the pace, right? You're controlling the outcome. You're in control. So that's just the way that I see it. But if I'm honest, who knows what the fuck the judges are thinking, man? Like
True.
half the time, I don't think they even know what they're thinking. They just write shit down just to get it over with, right?
Yo, man,
So,
like,
True.
it is what it is. Like we have good judges, but we also have a lot of mishaps in judging. So I don't know, man. I fight like I'm fighting to win. I don't fight like I'm trying to get by or not lose. I fight like I'm trying to win.
Oh, that's awesome.
no doubt, man. Can you, by the way, can you tell the people who are not watching on Twitch, we have a good chunk of podcast listeners. Vince has a hat on that says "From Hell" because his nickname is Vinc Pichel, and then "From Hell" is on fire. So, one, can I get the origin story of the nickname? Because, oh, by the way, do you know why we ended up like asking you to come on the show and everything? Did you like, I know you saw the graphic, you liked it on Twitter, but did you get like what the bit was that we were doing? It really wasn't a bit or anything. Okay. So I guess we should explain this. And then luckily this is online. So maybe if you get upset, you won't have to hurt either one of us. Remember, Martin's a lot closer. He's in Austin, Texas. So the way it works on our show, we go through at the end of it, we both watch MMA. We're both big fans. We love watching fights, but we know it's like it can get super boring just trying to talk about what could happen in a fist fight in comparison to just watching a fist fight. And we know that analysis isn't like something that people are just absolutely asking from us random dudes on the internet for. So we go through every single card basically since the start of quarantine for COVID-19 and everything, and we look at the nicknames of all the fighters, and we pick 5 winners. Martin picks 5 winners based off how dope the nicknames are. So because the catchphrase for the whole bit, which by the way we're doing later on in the show, so if you're listening, don't worry, we're going to do it for the upcoming fight. The whole catchphrase is having a dope nickname is 50% of the fight. So
sometimes, man, like it's all about remembrance, right? It's all about
Exactly.
Making a stamp on people. That's the reason why I like the nickname. It's the reason why when I walk out the highway to hell as well from AC/DC.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 things that I have.
And like you said, man, kid, so what was the origin of the nickname? Who said it first? Is it something that you cooked up? Did somebody else come up with it? What's the deal?
It actually came from my mom. So
Okay.
I didn't tell my mom I was fighting. I didn't tell her until I was about to have my first pro fight. We were in the kitchen. I was at her house. So we were in the kitchen, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, I got a job, and I'm going to start working on this day." It was like August something was my first professional fight. I want to say it was like August 15th, honestly, but I'd have to go back and check my record. But
Yeah, I'm
so
looking at it right now, August 15th. Yep.
is it? That was my first professional fight.
Yeah, August 15th, 2009.
Yeah, how funny. So and then I just fought on August 15th.
Wow, that's
So so I was in there and I was like, "Hey, Mom, yeah, I got a job." She's like, "Oh, what is it?" And I was like, "Fighting." She's like, "Yeah, I know. You get arrested for it all the time, stupid ass." Like, sure. And I was like, "No, like, I'm actually fighting. I'm fighting professionally. I've been fighting amateur for the past like year and a half. I'm about to fight professionally and like start making money. And I want to know if you want to come." And she started laughing, and I was like, "The fuck's so funny, right?" And she goes, "What's your nickname going to be? The Pichel from Hell?" And I just started dying laughing. And then she's like, "There's no other nickname that would basically like fit you, right?" So I started cracking up. I go to the gym. I tell my coaches, tell the guys. They're like, "Dude, that's so fucking perfect, bro." So my coach, Peter Cunningham, a kickboxing coach, he gave me a nickname before, which was the Punisher. But he named us all after like superheroes, right? Like Marvel superheroes and
Right.
comics and whatnot. And so my name was the Punisher. So that's what he called me up until then. But then when the From Hell hit, he was like, "Oh," he's like, "All right." He's like, "It's From Hell Pichel. That's what it is. It's got to go. That's got to be, right? It's got to be. Mom's gave it to you too." So I was like, "Shit, I guess it is." So we just kind of stuck it, and it fits me very well, right? Like I'm a pretty fun, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, but on the other side of that coin, I'm not that guy you fuck with, right? And That's the reason why I got that nickname, because I can't be that person. And that's why I fight, man. I'm just a violent bastard that likes getting paid for it instead of arrested.
No, I like it, man. I like
love
it.
I love it.
And by the way, like the hat definitely, as a comic book nerd, the hat gives me like Ghost Rider vibes because it's like the flames from Ghost Rider. So yeah, I get that.
I actually bit it from from Thrasher, because I used to be a skater. I was a skater when I was younger.
Yes.
I took it from Thrasher, how they have their shirt, their old school shirt.
I was gonna say Thrasher's making a big comeback in the amongst black people for some reason. I have no idea why. Black kids love to wear Thrasher shirts, and I think they have no idea about what the actual magazine is. But
they don't know it's a magazine or like a skate brand.
yeah, like iconic skate brand or anything like that. But yeah, for sure, man. You still skate a little bit or no?
I do actually, a little bit, not too much, but from time to time I'll jump my board. I don't have too much concrete here where I live, but if I'm bored and I'm like underneath the barn where it's concreted, I'll be skating a little bit.
Gotcha. Cool, man.
Now your Twitch brand also incorporates From Hell. So as a fellow Twitch streamer, when did you first get into Twitch, and when did you first decide to click the go live button?
Actually, I was on Twitch. When I built my PC, which was when was that? 2000, was it 2018, 2019?
Okay.
It was 2019. January 2019 is when I built my PC, and then I started playing like PC games. I'd never played PC games before, and all my friends were like, "You gotta get a PC. You gotta get a PC. You gotta get a PC." So I was like, "Shit, okay." I built a PC. Now I have a PC. I started playing PC games, and I was like, "Damn, this is pretty fun." And then my friends were always like, "Dude, why don't you start streaming? Like, you can make some money doing that, this and that too. Like, you like playing video games, and like you're pretty good. So like, just do it, right?" So I was like, "Okay." So I streamed a little bit on Twitch. I streamed like some PUBG, and I'm not sure what else, like some Autonauts or some other nerd game I was playing. and then I went over to Mixer, and then when I was on Mixer, I went to Mixer after my fight with Roosevelt Roberts. I actually streamed my warm up for his fight, and the post fight video I streamed on my Mixer for my last fight, and then my last fight with Miller I streamed on my Twitch, so it's in my VODs on my Twitch. But I don't know, man. I was just told to do it, and I started doing it, and I started growing, and I really loved it. I really got into the GTA role playing thing.
Yep.
I got a huge following from that. That's like the main thing I play. It's the most fun because it lets me be like my little criminal self without like actually getting busted or arrested, right? Like it lets me be my old crime myself.
See, if AShton wants to, it allows us to go on a little tangent on GTA. Have you tried the cop thing, or is it all criminal and?
I do. Actually, I do have a cop character.
Okay.
His name's Richard Stain, and he's got like violent Tourette's outbursts. So that's
Nice.
my cop character that I made.
Okay.
He actually has some pretty good traction too. People love him too. I haven't pulled him out a little bit, but my main character I use is Skeeter Clevin.
Nice.
Some little redneck guy who's like kind of like happy-go-lucky guy, but he's also like a gangster, right? Like he's the leader of the mafia in the city that I'm in. So like I run the mafia and like deal drugs and do all kinds of other illegal shit. So
the fun stuff of GTRP, the fun side.
Yeah, all the fun stuff that's not in the actual game that people have no idea you could do in GTA, right? Because they've never seen role playing.
Yep.
But just super awesome, super fun. Once I started playing, I was hooked on it, man. I absolutely love it.
Hell yeah.
So what's the next move in terms of what you're doing right now? You're already resting up. You talked about you're gonna wait to get back into the gym. What's happening after that, man? You can't just keep training forever, and you've been on a roll, man. You trying to keep the fire going?
Yeah, I'm gonna get another fight. I'm gonna fight by the end of the year. I already told Shelby, let's get another fight. I'm healthy. My worst injury right now, like my elbows were sore. I got a small black eye, and my right ankle's sore. So I'm honestly just waiting for my right ankle to completely go away. It's still pretty swollen. I'm not able to really run on it yet. It still hurts. But just kind of healing that up, waiting for that to go down, and then get right back in the gym, get another fight, just keep us going.
And do you want to get a rematch with Gregor, or do you have anybody with you got kind of your eyes set on fighting?
Maybe that's a possibility. If that would get me like in a title contention or something, I would definitely want to rematch for him. I'd rematch him, but I'm not really too eager about it because he's not going to come to fight me, right? He's going to come just to grapple me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to grapple. I don't want to be in a grappling match.
and you're a lightweight, and that's got lightweight's one of the most deepest divisions right now in the UFC. You got Khabib and Justin fighting just over a couple months' time, and other people in
Yeah.
there. Who do you think you would match up well against?
Honestly, anybody. I'm a bad matchup for almost any guy. Um, I have natural attributes and talents, um, and those are things that you really can't train for, and that's what makes me so dangerous as a fighter. Is just my natural abilities that I have, my strength, my conditioning. Um, it's a hard thing for anyone to train for. It's a really hard thing for someone to train for.
And Vince, I'll ask this off the top here, man. There's you're in a dangerous sport. We all know this, right? Like you're in the fight game. Anything can happen at any given time. I'm sure you've gone to plenty of dark places in terms of when the injuries hit or when you're in a fight or something like that, man. What gets you out of the dark places, right? Like what gets you out of the dark places and helps you get back to being in control of the situation, being in control of yourself in situations that you don't know what's gonna happen.
Honestly, sometimes I don't really know, dude. Like with fighting comes extreme highs and super extreme lows. Like you get the best of both worlds, right? But thus is anything in life that you're passionate about, right? Like if you're passionate about something, you care so much about something, you're gonna get the extreme highs and the extreme lows out of it. But the thing is to just not let it deter yourself, right? Not to get caught up so much in the lows and think that they're forever because they're not. And the same thing with the highs. The highs are never forever either. So me personally, I just kind of take things one day at a time and cherish it that way because I don't know, like it kind of makes me depressed thinking about like the future of fighting and how long I'm going to be able to fight, right? So I stopped thinking about like that, and I just go, you know what? My body tells me that I can't fight anymore, and when you can't tell the difference between me and the 20-year-olds in the gym, then maybe I'll start thinking about stopping or slowing down, right? But until then, no. But I don't know. I'm a firm believer mainly in that things happen for a reason and things will always work themselves out. So a lot of times I just keep telling myself that, and no matter how steep that mountain is, I just keep climbing because eventually you do get to the top.
And I've got a question coming in here from one of our friends, Garrett. He wants to know when you were fighting Miller in that the guillotine that he got you in there. What how did you get out of it for one, and then two, how did you keep going after using all the effort to get out?
Yeah, dude, that guillotine was tight. Had I not got my head out when I did, I would have been tapping another couple seconds or letting him choke me unconscious, honestly. But yeah, that was really stressful. That was a hard thing to get out of. I kind of just got lucky that he was just so tired and so blown out.
Mhm.
I just kind of hammer fisted him right in the neck, used it to separate his face so he couldn't like pinch and just crunch on me, and then basically choked myself out of the fucking position. Um, it's definitely not a move that will typically work against any kind of guy with skills. But luckily, we were sweaty as shit, and he was tired, and I got my head out because that he would have finished me, man. It wasn't bad at first, but when he adjusted and he got off the cage where I had him pinched,
Yep.
it got real bad. And had I not got my head out, I would have lost the fight.
Mhm.
That's wild. Seconds between victory and defeat. I love it. That's fighting
Yeah.
to a T, right? Uh,
Yep. And then once I got out, I was like, "Fuck yeah, full blown rage mode, bro!" Like I just gotta keep throwing now because I can't let that like steal the round from me, right?
Yep.
Like that last
hey,
round was a make or break round, and I feel like whoever dominated that round was gonna get the win. So
Mhm.
that for me, that was I had to win that round.
Yep.
so Vince, do you like the empty arena or do you want the fans, man? What's the deal? I know there's got to be some kind of adrenaline pump that comes through, and it causes anxiety for some, adrenaline for others. What do the fans do for you, or what do people in the crowd do for you when you're going out there into the ring?
Honestly, I'm either way with it. I like the crowd, but I like not having a crowd too. I like the crowd because I do like the energy, especially if they like you more, right? Like I
Right.
definitely like the energy. If they're booing you or talking shit or cheering for the other guy, I mean, it's a little discouraging, but also I don't really mind that either because it drives me a little more, right? Because then I'm like, all right, watch me fuck your boy up then, right? So, but without the crowd, I really like it because I could hear Miller's coaches.
Mhm.
I could hear what they were telling him in relation to how he's supposed to be fighting me and how they worked in the training camp against me. So that helped a lot. It lets me hear my corners without them screaming at me. You know what I mean? Everything's just much more calm, relaxed environment where you don't like really get too like crazy anxious. So it's honestly just a little more relaxing because it's kind of like fighting in the gym. But I definitely prefer the fans, but because of COVID and this crazy world right now, it's not a bad compromise.
And I'll put this up as the last question here, man. We'll let you go and get back to relaxing and resting up and everything like that, man. What's the best place to get food in Vegas? And then 2, what's the wildest thing that somebody slid in your DMs and said? Because I feel like professional fighters, there's dudes sitting on the couch that think they can take you because they got like 20 pounds on you. They don't understand the difference between like, yeah, you got 20 pounds on me, but I also have like, elite level training and most of my body is muscle where yours is not. So.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I get bodybuilders. The last guy I've had was like a bodybuilder. But this fight, I haven't had too many. I want to say like 5 to 10 hate emails or hate speeches towards me because they lost money betting on me or
man,
or they really liked Miller. One of them was like super long, which I kind of laughed. I thought it was, I don't know. I think they're kind of cool. Like they're funny sometimes. I just love.
You took time out of your day to write me an essay. I really appreciate that. For me to not read it.
Yeah, it gives me a form of satisfaction knowing that they're just so full of hate because they bet against me and lost or whatever the case may be.
No doubt.
And really quickly, my final question: do you have a prediction for Khabib versus Justin in October?
Honestly, I think Khabib might just maul him like he does everybody else. Mm-hmm. But Justin's got good wrestling, and if he could stop Khabib from taking him down, which I'm not sure, I think he'll knock Khabib out in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Okay, nice. And
bold.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm Team Justin in this one. As people that listen, and AShton knows, I'm not the biggest Khabib fighting fan of his style, but you got to give credit where credit's due. He is the champion. Justin Gaethje, the interim champion in the lightweight division. We've got Vinc Pichel from Hell, who's also in the lightweight, joining us. Do you want to go and plug some of your channels?
Yeah, on my social media is simple. I keep it simple. From Vinc Pichel, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Twitch channel. Just keep it simple, right? Shout out to you guys. Thanks for having me on the cast. It's pretty fun. Shout out to my sponsors, Smoke Buddy, Rev Gear, Miss Mary Jane's CBDs, my boy at Union Designs that makes all my shirts and my hats and whatnot.
I was gonna say, Vince, what doses of CBD do you use, man?
Doses?
Yeah, like what dose? Like how do you? First of all, like how do you take your CBD, and then like what level? Like how many milligrams you taking?
Well, typically I'll make like these little drinks. Like Miss Mary Jane's has these little tubs that I order, and one scoop is like 25 milligrams, right? So I'll just have one drink. But usually I'll typically drink like 2 of them a day, probably.
Cool.
More a day, just I usually like take them after training, or if I'm just chilling, I'll take them. That way it relaxes me. Sometimes after training, I'm a little wired, right? Like my mind's still going. So right. I typically use CBD after training just to relax me, let my body start to actually recover, slow my mind down. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's late at night, right? I need to go to bed. So I'll either have some of the tincture, or I'll just make a drink, Miss Mary Jane drink, and I'll just chug that sucker down, and I'm chill like 5 minutes later.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the man from hell himself, joining us here on the Broke Boy Sports Podcast. Really appreciate you coming on, man. Make sure you guys go check him out on Instagram, on Twitter. Make sure you follow him on Twitch as well. Check out his streams. And if you got some hate mail, send it his way too. I'm sure he appreciates that 100%.
Bring it on, bitches.
I love it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you guys for having me. Had a good time.
Appreciate it. All right, and now while we do that, I'm going to fix this on this side, AShton. And while you fix
just had, that's kind of trippy. That's like the first pro athlete that we didn't know prior to him becoming a pro athlete. So, by the way, a lesson in diligence on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. So, I basically just tweeted out the nickname picks and make sure I tag the fighters in the tweets. And he and what is her name? Verna?
The Bird of Prey.
Yeah, Verna, the Bird of Prey, liked it. The only reason I did not slide in Verna's DMs is because she does not speak English very well, and I don't speak Portuguese very well. So I listened to her post-fight interview, and she was like, she had a translator. And I was like, there's no way. I don't speak Portuguese at all. And you know what, Martin? I probably should have asked before Martin, do you speak Portuguese?
No. I don't believe so. Last
There
time
you
I
go.
checked, I don't know any Portuguese.
Last time I checked, I do not speak Portuguese. So yeah, we got that going on, and that was pretty dope, man. Vince was real nice and really generous with his time. It was a lot of fun talking to him, and like you said, he's just a violent guy, man. I respect it. He's a guy who knows himself. Know yourself, like Drake says. Anyway, the Rockets just got that dub.
Nice.
Versus the Thunder without having to use Russell Westbrook for the second game in a row. So, kiss my ass, Thunder fans. If you even exist. I still don't know if they actually exist. So let's see. What was the final score? By the way, be very concerned. Bucks are only up 10 over the Orlando Magic, who don't have Aaron Gordon, who they lost to in game one.
They already lost game
Tuesday.
one, so that's not a good.
We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs so far a little bit later on, right? So we start off the show like we normally do. One, make sure you go download the Thrive Fantasy app. Use promo code BrokeBoy. And you get $20 of credit if you deposit at least $20 on your first deposit. So yeah, check that out. Use code BrokeBoy, and you get $20 for putting $20 in, and you can do prop bets, daily fantasy, and stuff like that. They got NFL stuff that they're lining up, and they do daily fantasy with like a shit ton of money that you can steal from them. So go take their money, and if you want to slide your boys a couple thousand here or there, we're just trying to, we're simple podcasters who are trying to take one step closer to buying Fight Island and doing our podcast from there forever.
Yep.
So yeah.
Actually, I've completely, I sort of made a little error while I was making our
I don't know what's going
on
Twitch right now, so I'm
if
assuming
anybody's watching on Twitch right now, the boxes are not cooperating with me, so just give me half.
They look normal right now. What are you talking about?
No, my OCD's kicking in. There we go. Now we're good to go. And
okay, cool.
As when we do the interviews, we start with the interview. But normally when we start a show, it's what's popping in quarantine, AShton, and why don't you take it away?
Well, this, by the way, I just want to preface this in saying, hey guys, I'm being nice. This was going to be about high treason. Martin saw it beforehand. This was going to be about high treason of shutting down the post office. Anyway.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So AShton, we might have time to get to it later, but my what's popping was going to be a video game, and then I saw that your what's popping was. I was like,
yeah,
we want to go from high treason to video game.
I don't want to be the serious guy. See, now you're making me look. Now you're trying to make me be the bad guy on the podcast right now.
It's all right.
Wow, AShton went for the top rope on this one. God damn.
It's all right. I'm gonna be looking like the bad guy here in a minute when we get into my what's popping.
Yeah, man. I will say this, Martin. I told Martin to delete this shit just so we all know, just out of respect. You don't disrespect the goats like that. You don't disrespect the goats.
Yeah, let's get into yours first, AShton.
Yeah, so what's popping in quarantine? Dessert before dinner. What do I mean by that? Literally, for you, I'm sure people in quarantine have just been eating dessert for dinner, which, by the way, shout out to you for being an adult and making that choice. Do you, fam? I'm not here to judge you at all. I will say, people want the rewards of a proper quarantine and a proper shutdown of COVID-19 in America when we are creeping towards 6 million cases in this country, and almost 200,000 people have died from it, which is horrible because that's a person that somebody loved and is in their life that is passing away from it. By the way, that's 5 million cases that we know of, which we know the number is a lot higher. Anyway, dessert before dinner. This is for the college football fan who's listening right now. And the nonsensical college football fan, right? Who's listening right now. Because, sensical, we'll talk about in worst of the worst, why this all ties together. People want the rewards of quarantine, but half-assed it like you didn't eat your vegetables. Like you ate the steak for dinner, but you didn't eat the vegetables, and you're trying to say, oh, man, I ate all my dinner. That's not how it goes. You don't get the ice cream that is college football or professional or college sports, because professional sports are back. You don't get the professional sports or sports, the dessert of life, the toy section of life, as a lot of people describe it, without putting the work in to, make regular life normal in America. So there's that. That's what I got was popping in quarantine. I kept it short and sweet. Dessert before dinner, baby. You got to do the work. Make sure you social distancing. Put your mask on. Wash your hands and your ass. Don't just wash your hands. Wash your ass and your whole body. Do that for me. There's a discussion right now going on Twitter about how some people don't take a shower every single day. And if you can afford it and you're choosing not to, we got a problem. So I know some people like.
What if you're lazy, Ashton? Like, what if?
Yeah, Martin. So Martin just admitted that he doesn't take a shower every single day.
No, I'll admit that right here on camera.
Wow,
a shower
Martin.
don't happen every single day.
Wow, Martin. Clean your bodies, people. Clean your bodies. And there's like 1,000,000,001 excuses under Van Lathan's tweet on Twitter about why some people don't take at least one shower a day. But
I literally don't have a reason. I'm just lazy. Literally, that's all
your reason,
is, brother.
Just because it's not a good reason doesn't mean it's not a reason. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, that's Martin. Martin doesn't take it. That's this half of the podcast takes 2 showers a day, so I make up for Martin not taking one at all. By the way, every athlete that's listening to this show or any person that works out, take your showers after your workout. That's how you prevent staph infection. That's how you prevent sweat and the salt and the gross stuff that comes out of your body. Because remember, sweat is trash, the trash of your body excluding itself. Remember, that shit gets in your mattress if you go to sleep. So if you go to sleep on your mattress, even after you've worked out and it's just on your skin, that shit like seeps into your mattress and into your pillows. And that creates bacteria inside of your pillows and things that you use on a regular basis and makes an unhealthy living environment. But also like avoid staph infection. That shit fucking hurts. And MRSA, you don't want MRSA. That'll just
you don't want MRSA. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Somebody
if you don't know what
MRSA had that, and it was fucking
dude,
rough.
by the way, if you don't know what MRSA is, it's antibiotic resistant staph. So it's just literally a bacteria that will eat holes into your body. Like somebody took a hole punch and like ate through the tissue on your body.
Yep.
So have fun with that. I will say, just so we're all aware and know that I know this, I know that staph bacteria is naturally present on your body. Staph infection is when that material is gotten to a point where it's uncontrollable and it becomes an infection on your skin. I'm not stupid. Anyway, moving on, Martin. What's popping in quarantine for you, man?
I can learn to understand you much better if I...
Bro, that's the second time that has happened. Do you hear that?
I heard you cut out and cut back in.
Okay, so I haven't clicked anything there, but like an assistant pops up saying, "I can help you." Blah blah blah. It did it during the interview as well.
Wait, is it that paperclip thing from Microsoft Word?
It's like
is it clipping from
like the 2020 version of that. It's really it's weird. All I did was click on Google Chrome, which I used during the show for stuff, and apparently I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so sorry for everybody that is hearing that on the Twitch side of things. Nobody else will be hearing it. If Ashton's not hearing it, you're not hearing it on the podcast, so we're good there. What's popping in quarantine? If I had a bell, I'd be ringing the bell right now.
Did you make a sale?
No, because the bell it has been told Barcelona, the Lionel Messi era has come to an end.
Martin, get the fuck out of here, man.
It is over. It's finally over. As somebody who has stood on a mountain and said Barcelona is highly overrated for a very long time, for me personally, it is.
Here comes Martin on the hate train. Martin with the hate.
It's not hate, bro. It is what it is. Messi. I'll leave the Messi conversation alone. That's neither here nor there.
You can have a conversation about how Messi can't be great unless he has other really good players around him. Like, we all know that. We've seen it in Argentina, like, legit. What is it? Once Almeida stopped playing for the national team, they've just been, like, completely ineffective. He's threatened to retire multiple times because the players around him are not as great as he is.
Has he scored a lot of goals and created a lot of assists and played really well throughout his career? Yes. It's just like the Khabib argument, and it's just like the Usman argument. Yes. However, Barcelona plays in La Liga. Go look at the goals scored by Lionel Messi and Barcelona in general against the bottom tier teams in La Liga. They inflate their stats so bad. Yes, they have won the Champions League. Yeah, there's no denying that. However, in the past decade, since they last won, In 2014, 2015, they have had historic, comical loss after loss. This is the first time since 2007, 2008 that Barcelona is finishing their season with 0 trophies. So to me, that signals the end of an era. You last won the Champions League in 2014, 2015. You are the laughing stock. You're literally the Reggie Miller choking emoji personified on the pitch right now. And yeah, they had success before, but I'm talking about this is the end of the era for Barcelona. And then
it does not help that this is also the same week that the guy who was destined to take over the kingdom after Messi stepped away is now in the Champions League final.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Also, final thought on what's popping with Barcelona. Their new head coach, AShton. I've put a laughing emoji in here because because there was rumors before they even fired and lost historically 8-2 to Bayern Munich in a quarterfinal. That Ronald Koeman, I think that's how I'm probably saying his last name wrong because he's Dutch, but I'm going to say Ronald Koeman. He was rumored to be the next head coach. And then immediately after firing his predecessor, Barcelona announces Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman is arguably a great fucking player. He won a lot of trophies as a player. He actually played for Barcelona, I believe in 1992, scored the game-winning goal for them in a Champions League or back then European Cup. So yes, he has history as a player. Let's go to Ronald Koeman's career as a coach. He has coached at all 3 major teams in the Netherlands, and I don't believe won a single title for Ajax, for PSV, and the other team that I can't think of off the top of my head.
It's not Zipling, right?
No. He then gets hired to go to England. He does help Southampton finish in one of their highest positions ever. Great. Congratulations. You still didn't win shit. Then he goes over to Everton, another Premier League team, and gets run out of town. So you're telling me Barcelona, the great and mighty Barcelona, have fallen. They have fallen so far that that they are hiring Ronald Koeman, a failed manager for Everton, for 3 of the major teams in the Netherlands. He went to Portugal. He coached in Portugal. I want to say he didn't win shit in Portugal either. So I don't know what Barcelona is expecting. And then of course he comes in and he says, "We are literally selling everybody. Everybody is on the block to get cut or traded away. We want to keep Messi, but dude, I'm going to keep all the other comments about Messi aside. He's getting old. He is on the downside of his career. And the prime example of that is if you go and watch the Bayern Barcelona game, there is a moment for Bayern's 5th goal where Alphonso Davies, possibly my favorite player in the world now, goes down the left, burns past Lionel Messi, burns past Arturo Vidal, and then burns past I can't say his name.
He chopped up the entire back line for Barca.
And the best part is when he gets past Nelson Semedo, there's a shot and Messi is literally quitting. Like you see Messi quit on camera as Alphonso Davies goes passes it. It's an amazing setup for the goal. And then after the game, this is how salty Messi is. Alphonso Davies, who's 19, not even 20 years old yet, his favorite player is Messi. This is the first time he ever got to play against Messi. He was his idol. So he goes up, does the courtesy thing, says, "Good game, thank you. Do you want to exchange jerseys?" You know what Messi does? He says no and walks off. What?
Remember that. Remember that young Alfonso. Remember that. Hold that hate deep in your heart.
Yeah.
Let it power you.
Yep, it is. It's one of those moments that I'm gonna remember seeing Messi quit and him not giving Alphonso Davies his jersey, because that's just that's just a sign of the times that I think Barcelona and Messi are in. I mean, you've got to think about it. He is arguably, to some people, the best player in the world, and then he hasn't won shit for Argentina.
I don't hear this slander about Ronaldo, but whatever.
Ronaldo's winning everywhere he goes.
Oh, for real? The Champions League final came around. Where's Ronaldo at?
Bro.
Where is he? Where is he, Martin? At home? Me and Ronaldo gonna watch the game from the same spot. Actually, no, we're not. Fine. Ronaldo's gonna be watching it from a lavishly appointed Italian villa.
let me know when Messi has won in the Premier League, when he has won in Serie A, and by obviously La Liga. He's won in La Liga, but just let me know. Let me know the type of success Messi would have if he left, like Ronaldo left Real Madrid. That's obviously
you saying it like Ronaldo didn't play for like the Barcelona of all those leagues. Like Juventus has like the most money, even though Inter Milan is like the historical legendary team or whatever. The Juventus has the money that they do. Same thing with like when he was playing for Manchester United. Manchester United was like the top of their game with like some of the best players on the face of the planet on the squad. And I get it. He led the way. He was ridiculous when he was with that team. There was no question about that whatsoever. But like, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put it out there.
I don't think it's been 6 years since Ronaldo last won the Champions League. So that's and zero trophies. Like some of the stats from this season. I mean, 8-2 to Bayern. Then you go back 12 months to what Barcelona did against Liverpool, completely choking on the corner kick. So that's what's popping for me is the Barcelona Messi end of an era for them. We move on, AShton. Another staple of our show, best of the best, worst of the worst. You've got both this week. I'll chime in with my thoughts as well. Take it away.
Man, I could have gone a lot of ways with best of the best. I think I'll do a short one here. Best of the best. The Kansas City Chiefs just announced that they're no longer allowing Native American headdress into the stadium anymore. So shout out to them for that. For like addressing something so small as to be like, hey, maybe we don't wear the sacred garb of a group of people that were almost annihilated in America and at one point specifically hunted, and people like literally every Native American person in America, right? Like every Native American person had a bounty on their head at some point in the birth of this country. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. Anyway, my primary best of the best, Bill Plaschke. A lot of you guys know him from ESPN's Around the Horn. He's one of the consistent and one of the guys who has pretty good damn takes, man. He's a writer as well. He has fully recovered. Well, not fully. He has recovered and is officially negative for COVID-19. And shout out to him for being one of the OGs of Around the Horn, because it would have been absolutely horrible to hear a guy like Bill, who's been a part of my life as an aspiring sportscaster and a guy who's informed me on many times on things that are going on in the world in connection with sports and everything like that. So shout out to him for recovering from COVID-19, and hopefully he'll be back in action as soon as possible. And it'll actually lead into one of my media suggestions a little bit later on as well. COVID-19 will, not Bill Plaschke. But yeah, Martin, we move on. Best of the best is Bill Plaschke. Worst of the worst.
We had a couple that we could have chose from.
Hold on. Let me clear my throat because this could take a while for me to say it out loud. The University of North Carolina literally had kids on campus for a single week. They tested almost every kid on campus, and 130 of them came up positive. They sent everybody home because they have no way to counteract almost 200 kids testing positive for a disease that has no vaccine whatsoever. Also, like Martin, follow-up question: where are those kids supposed to go? Ohio State set a deadline for being tested on campus, which caused a massive line outside the medical facility on campus. Thus, hence meaning if one of those kids had COVID-19, they sure as fuck gave it to one of their classmates. Other thing going on here: Boston College is now urging Boston College and technically Boston University as well are urging the police to run down these college parties, knock on these doors, break up the shindigs, shut down the kickbacks, and take these motherfuckers to jail if there's any hullabaloo, right? because they want to cut down on freshmen going to parties to open up the school year. Frat boys, sorority girls throwing parties that people call. Because wait, hold on, is Massachusetts one of those states where like more than 6 women in a house is a brothel? By the way, that's a fucking thing. That's a thing. That's a like I went to Valparaiso University. There are no sororities on campus because more than 6 women living in a house is considered a brothel. That's what I was told. Wow. Because that's how deep misogyny goes. Anyway, can't have a sleepover. Youse. Watch yourselves. Watch it. We know what you're doing. We know what you're about. Anyway, Boston College, BC, they got the cops out here looking for these parties, trying to break them up, Martin. Notre Dame and Michigan have gone full online for 2 weeks because that's how many kids tested positive when they showed up for the first week of class. Enough for them to send everybody home. I sit here and I almost, at this point, the stupidity is at a high level, Martin, that I just can't process. What did they think was going to happen?
Exactly. That's the thing.
What you mean?
You have
like,
no
what
protocols
did you think?
In place. You're just throwing everybody to the wind. Like, wear a mask, social distance. It's like that's. All right, what like.
It was hey guys, show up for campus. If you test positive, well, you're gonna have to quarantine somewhere. Apparently, like some schools had it set up where you were like quarantined inside of a fucking hotel room, and I was like, what does that have to do with like medical treatment? You know, so I don't know, man. You know, we spent months being told that like mass gatherings of people are illegal. And if college is nothing else, it is a mass gathering of people who are irresponsible and typically under the influence at a high, like at disproportionate rates than the average population, right? Under the influence of something, not even saying alcohol, but who knows? People show up to Martin. How many times you went to class and people showed up higher drunk? Come on, man.
I mean, I can count at least one because I did it myself, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the other thing. Like, college Martin, I would have 100% had like some sort of part, like, so I can't like. Yeah, I can say it's dumb for them to hold these parties and stuff, but I would have been right there with them if I was in college. Like, I know for a fact. Like, it is what it is. Now, being a little older, obviously, I've got a little bit more wiser. But when you're... The thing is, these are 18 to 21-year-olds, really. They think they're invincible.
I was going to say, that's the time period where, obviously, you're invincible. Exactly. Nobody has ever died. Like,
that's the problem. And, like... You've got some people saying it's a hoax. So, like...
I have a strange feeling that some of those people have also made children who are going to college.
Exactly.
Who are in college. Some of those people who think it's a hoax, who don't want to wear a mask, also have kids that are going to college.
They are getting fed the same information that their parents are getting and other people are getting. So, it's just a shit show, man. I'll say it. I think I've said it every time we brought it up. Why we couldn't have just went into a full, like... do what some people will be like, oh, America is bigger than all these other countries. It's like China, like they just had a fucking water party in Wuhan with thousands of people unmasked, but apparently we can't do it the same way that they did it because of fucking China.
Also, like
my freedoms.
To their point, China was scooping niggas up and putting them in jail. But hey,
don't they do that here?
Yeah, that's true. They do that. They do that here now too. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, just can we just fucking figure it out, man? Like that's where I'm at.
Martin, this is figuring it out.
We've had
don't you get it? The plan, like, so the way herd immunity works is you don't tell people that that's the plan. You just keep you just like let it. Herd immunity has to be a natural thing that comes across. Anyway,
I was for herd immunity. Herd immunity might have gotten us to a better spot than we are right now, dude. But you know.
Yeah, what was it? Alexander Gustafsson talked about. He's from Sweden, and like they did the herd immunity thing. Yep. Like, yeah. So I don't know like how many people died in Sweden, but I have a feeling there was a lot. But yeah, it's there's people who have like different. There's a lot of idiots who think that. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people on Twitter that have medical degrees that are way more intelligent than you or I, right, Martin? Yeah. Anyway, my point of this whole thing is like, where do positive students go because they can't go back home? Because like, if I find out my kids got COVID-19, like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, how they supposed to get food? How am I supposed to like lock them in their room and make sure not like how are they supposed to go to the bathroom? Am I supposed to get them a bucket? What's the deal? And then combine that with the like are they going to go home to infect the people that they love? Because some people don't necessarily live with their parents. Some people live with immune compromised parents. Some people just live with dumb people. So there's that. And the price is a little too high, apparently, than anyone is willing to pay. And that price is daily testing, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes for sports, and that goes for, well, America. So a huge breakthrough happened. Yale has a system that they developed, which, by the way, Martin, you saw this, right? The saliva test that is like super cheap to make. Like they sell it for like $15 or whatever.
NBA one?
Yeah, no. So like the MLB has one too. The MLB's been using the saliva test. They've been using a more expensive version of it, I believe. But the Yale and some other scientists came up with a more cost-effective one where it's spit samples and they can tell you in like a couple of days if you're positive or not, right? And combined, the wildest part was the Milwaukee Bucks doctor figured that out. Like the Milwaukee Bucks medical doctor was a part of the team that discovered that. And I was like, oh, damn.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. He's not out here just taping up ankles and stuff. That's dope. Anyway, moving on. The price is a little too high, apparently. And a lot of people don't want to say the quiet part out loud, Martin. And I'm actually kind of offended. I felt like college sports has said a lot more horrible things or had people say a lot more horrible things than what they really want to say right now. We want this money. And we don't care if you die for us to get it. So, yeah, there's that. I'll even point out at one point throughout this whole process, man, Brett McMurphy, who, by the way, follow him on Twitter, fucking dope for information on college sports as everything's going on. He has been tweeting out consistently like Notre Dame had this many people tested and this many people came up positive, right? And he's been a huge reason why I was convinced that this shit could possibly work where nobody gets hurt. Where nobody ends up getting hurt, right?
Yep.
And now you add like they had the players, they had the athletes in a bubble to a sense, right? Like UConn's been having UConn's women's basketball team been having practices and shit like that. The football players have been out on the field with masks on, despite the fact that the players have been getting tested, and it makes you think like, man, they could have got this done. They really could have, Martin, if it wasn't for their inability to control the other 10,000 motherfuckers that's on campus that want to go get lit at a college bar instead of doing what I just don't understand. Y'all can buy the alcohol for the drinks for a fourth of the price and mix it your goddamn self. Like that, like guys, being the guy or gal or person who can mix good drinks at the party, that's a skill. That's like a real skill that you should try and perfect. And now in quarantine, y'all had every opportunity in quarantine. Y'all trying to rush back to these bars where they charging you $12 for a whiskey sour. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just don't get it. And don't try and give me that BS about you trying to support your local bar. I'm like, well, your bar ain't like a part of the community or nothing like that. It's a building where you go drink alcohol and shit. You can hang out with your friends at your house. And I get it. Some of y'all don't want to go home. I get that. You know what I mean? So I will say this. Brett McMurphy really legitimately gave me hope that the college football season could happen, Martin. And then everybody else showed up. And then the party got popping on campus. And I mean that metaphorically and literally. Shout out to all those people in Tuscaloosa who think that the get out of jail free card for sitting right next to people is I'm outside, so I'm less likely to contaminate myself or anybody else. Anyway, that's what I got for worst of the worst. Y'all still out here talking about football in schools like big time schools in America. Michigan, with the largest college stadium in the country. Notre Dame, North Carolina. They out here shutting down the whole campus, and y'all talking about football. And still don't want to pay nobody. Still want to get it for free. Man. Anyway, Martin, move on to the next one so I can get mad about that one too.
Yeah. Well, this one goes hand in hand with AShton's worst of the worst. So we'll just roll right on in. About a week ago, I think last episode
Bobby
you
Shmurda's
said-
still in jail. Bobby Shmurda's
okay.
still in jail, everybody. Yeah.
We were gonna check in on our boy Bobby, but it looks as if though he is.
I would love to have Bobby Shmurda on this
my
podcast
God,
just to
dude,
tell him that we have a segment named after his song, and
be
awesome.
awesome.
we give updates on whether or not you're in prison regularly. So
But yeah.
anyway, Martin, you got it or I got it? What's the deal?
I can kick it off. About a week ago, we were talking about some of the conferences we're canceling, and some of the conferences for NCAA sports, I should say, were going to be holding their fall seasons. The Big Ten was kind of the flag bearer for the shutdown for the season, and the south of the Mason-Dixon line, basically they're championing to
the Big 12 and the SEC said we.
Yeah.
What you mean we not playing college football?
Yeah. Yeah.
SEC dropped their schedule yesterday, 2 days ago, man.
So there's been reaction to that, and now AShton, we're starting to see reaction to the reaction, and I believe that's where the name for this week's episode is coming from.
Nobody's safe. Actually, that's a reference. Well, we can say.
Oh,
you know what?
That's where I thought it was for.
It's a multi-faceted. See, that's the beauty of the names of the episodes, man. This week's episode is episode 87, by the way. This week's episode is called Nobody's Safe, which, if you've never seen it, it's a shirt that Jerry Jeudy wore when Alabama didn't make the national championship game last year. They ended up in like some random bowl game, and I want to say it was against Michigan, and it was very terrifying because Alabama was just pissed off that they didn't make the national championship game, and it looked like they were going to go out there and hurt whoever they were playing, and they did. They won by like 4 touchdowns. Anyway, it's a shirt that Jerry Jeudy wore that just has across it "Nobody's Safe" in red letters in black trim. It is pretty funny. Anyway, that is actually in connection to the NBA playoffs, where even if you're a number 1 seed, you can still take an L to an 8 seed. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, technically, nobody is safe, Martin. Based off of what's been happening lately, nobody's safe at all. You're right. But yeah, go ahead. You were talking about the Big Ten was the conference that was leading the way with the Power Fives, and they were like, we shutting it down for now.
And then people were like, well, there's this ACC doctor that he thinks that we're all safe and everything should go on as normal. So it kind of, this past week has kind of been like a tennis match. Like, you serve it up. All right, Big Ten, we're going to cancel. Big Ten and Pac-12, we're canceling. ACC, SEC, Big 12, they return serve. No. We're doing it. Doom. And then Big Ten is like, or actually the players are like, no. We want to play. And the parents, are like, no. We want to fucking play. Boom. And then now it's basically the SEC and the people that are playing coming back saying, let the kids play because they want to. Boom. And that's where we're at. That's my analogy for the about a week ago.
So yeah, about a week ago, we all were resigned to the fact that college football ain't happening this year. Mm-hmm. We all thought that was going to be the case. This week, the SEC released their schedule on Monday. So their football schedule, their modified schedule, where you still play all your interconference games and then you add another 2 SEC teams, which, hey, if all the SEC teams are using the same testing protocol and testing rules in terms of how they're quarantining their players and making sure they don't have contact outside of the facility or who they have contact with or whatever, they are actually, making a bubble if they choose to do that. It also depends on like how the kids are getting their food and all the other little things that go along with that. But anyway, people's reaction to the Big Ten canceling their season until spring, supposedly, maybe just like altogether. Some doctor from the ACC whose name is Dr. Cameron Wolfe, infectious disease doctor at Duke. He's also the head of the ACC's like board of doctors or board of medical decisions or whatever. He, and I quote, this is real funny, Martin, how people took out of this statement that we can have a football season. Martin, get a calculator out. I need you to do some math here real quick.
Okay.
In a second. I'm going to read this quote from Dr. Cameron Wolfe, and then we're going to do some math, and you tell me. We believe we can mitigate it down to the level that makes everyone safe, Wolf told The Daily, which I think is like the Daily Beast. Can we safely have 2 teams meet on the field? I would say yes. Wolf admitted to the daily that it would be tough, expensive, and require a lot of hard work, but it's still optimistic. Martin, I just heard 3 words that a lot of people weren't talking about when they said the ACC doctor said it was okay for them to play college football. Anyway, I need you. You got your calculator out, Martin?
Hold on. Now I do.
All right. So we're going to do a little math. We're going to do some math here on the Broke Boy Sports Podcast. I know that's what you came here for, right? Let me give you a glimpse as to how much it cost for daily testing in the NCAA. There are 60 to 70 players per roster, right, Martin?
I'll say
so.
65.
Let's go 60. 65. 65 is being nice. By the way, that's just the players.
Yeah.
65. A test. A COVID test, from what I understand, in terms of like the nasal swab, that's not free, which I would assume it wouldn't be for college athletes or for the school, at least, if they're trying to buy them in bulk from a company that sells them. Based off my research, the NFL, if they have to get extra tests outside of the daily tests that they're paying, that's $125 per extra test from the person that's from an article that I read. And that's what they've been told is $125 extra on top of whatever they got going on. So 65 times 125, Martin, what's that for me?
65 times 125, 8,125.
All right. So that's, by the way, 8,125. That's 1 day of testing. That's getting kids tested 1 day out of the week. Now, Martin, if you wanted to do that times the 7 days that exist in a week, how much is that?
$56,875.
$56,875 a week to test an entire football team of just the players. And if you know what the situation is, you're not testing just the players. You're testing the coaching staff, which at bare minimum is like 12 guys, right? You're testing the athletic trainers. You're testing the doctors. You're testing the equipment managers. You're testing the cheerleaders if they're supposed to be there. You're testing the entire band. But we'll just keep it to the players. All right, Mark? So we're at 56,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many games are played throughout the course of a college football season if you make it to the national championship? I believe the answer is 14.
Yeah, it's 14 or 13, depending on your conference.
That's games. That's games played. That's not weeks, because it's the bye week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do games. Just do it times 15. 56 times 15. 56,000 times 15, Martin. How much is that?
853,125.
So almost $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, bowl season is a thing, right, Martin?
Mm-hmm.
And we still tested. If you make it to the national championship game, if you make it to the playoffs, we got to test after the conference championship games go on, all the way up to the national championship game throughout bowl season. So if you're the team that makes it to the national championship game, let's just guess, and which, by the way, is a lot more than this. Let's add 5 weeks to your season, right? To the national championship game, because after that, they don't give a damn what happens to you, right? They've proven that time and time again. 5 plus 5 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to the original equation and make it 20.
Okay, hold on.
Instead of 15. I have a feeling it cost over $1 million of extraneous materials for you to test for players every single day on a college football team for just players. That could easily, including the personnel and the people that you need to run an entire program, be almost $2 million.
Yep.
How many fucking college football teams you think got extra $2 million?
That's just football. Remember, like there's more sports.
Oh God, Martin, I forgot. We play other sports besides football.
Yep.
And they got to get tested every single day, right? Oh my God. Wow. How foolish of me. So let's just be generous and say that it's an extra, like for basketball teams, because of the size of the program, significantly smaller than the 65. By the way, 65 is a generous assumption of how many people are on an average college football roster, right? By the way, if you really want to have a college football season, that $2 million is not just getting paid for by Alabama and Clemson. It's getting paid for by Alabama, Clemson, North Carolina. It's getting paid for by the, let me say this, Wake Forest of the world. No offense to them. It's getting paid for by the, those little cupcake games the SEC loves to schedule like UMass. 2 weeks before the conference championship game. UMass got to pay that extra $2 million. You think they got $2 million just sitting around to pay for football players to go out there and get their ass kicked? And that includes the basketball team, right? Because by the time bowl season roll around, we playing basketball. We've been playing basketball for a couple months, and supposedly dude's supposed to be traveling around. So, I'm just saying, think about it. Like, just think about how, like, that's the price. That's the actual price. The other price is, are you willing to risk somebody's life for a fucking game? It's one thing if that person wants to risk their life for the game because that's their life. You dudes on Twitter, you dudes on Facebook, you dudes that are out here talking about how we don't need to live in fear. Are you willing to pay the price? Because apparently you are. Apparently you more than willing to throw somebody else into the fire. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I just want to do a little quick math. That's your math. That's your math assignment here for the Broke Boy Sports Podcast. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Almost $2 million for a football team, just the one team to be able to daily test all the way until the end of the season. By the way, if you know anything, what I did was very generous on many occasions because I have a strange feeling they're not just I have a strange feeling $125 is maybe on the low end of prices for what college programs are going to have to pay for in terms of COVID testing. I also said, like I mentioned, we only did that number with the players.
Yeah. So actually, we're going from math in the about a week ago to talking money.
Oh, we still talking money, baby.
Yep.
We still talking money. Because at the end of the day, we all know what makes the sports world go around. We still talking money, man. What you got, Martin?
We talking money, or we talking money? This one is this one when I saw the. Oh wait, hold on. We gotta. Oh, someone said they want to make a comment on the sports, but I'll refrain from saying anything because my take may come up. No, say whatever. We'll try and decipher it.
Oh,
we'll
like
try and
this.
Decipher Dark Sage. But we're talking money this week, AShton. When I saw this one, and I actually didn't see the story. I only saw my Dallas Cowboy group fans basically say, "Well, that's the Super Bowl over. I guess we're not. I guess they're not the number one contending team." Gerald McCoy, who he tore a quad on the first day of padded practice. And he just signed a 3-year, $18 million contract with the boys. And Jera repaid him by making sure that he had an injury waiver in his contract. And so they cut him with the injury waiver. He does have a little bit of a history with injuries, so that's why the Cowboys fans will say, well, that's why Jera put it in there. But, I mean, you didn't have to put it in there. That's all I'm saying, like it.
He still got he got $3 million out of that $18 million because the signing bonus that went with the contract. They cut him. I will say best of the best was almost Gerald McCoy's reaction because he posted on his Instagram story from the hospital about, hey, like football doesn't define me as a person. So like it does suck that I got cut or whatever, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm still happy. Like I still got a family. I still got kids. I still got so many other things to be thankful for. And even if it comes to an end with me doing this, I'll be all right. He said he's also going to still be a mentor to a lot of the young guys. And Gerald McCoy, the ever optimist that he has always been. If you got a chance to watch him on Hard Knocks when they did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that one weird year where they basically were floating around a team that was the Grim Reaper was hanging over that entire season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans was on that team. Deshaun Jackson was there as well. And it was a glimpse into Jameis Winston on a regular basis, which was interesting. But yeah, Gerald McCoy was one of the really nice guys. He carried the rookies pads when they had to carry other veterans pads or whatever. But Gerald McCoy, super positive about a really fucked up situation because it wasn't just me that thought that was messed up. Like it was other NFL players that thought that too, and understand that it's a business. Also, this is another case in point. They don't have the leverage to cut you if everybody's fighting for guaranteed money, like 100% guaranteed contracts all the time. And by the way, this is the time to remind you, the NBA the NBA has an unspoken rule that all the contracts are guaranteed. There is nothing within the bylaws or any law of contract negotiation for the NBA that says everything has to be guaranteed in terms of NBA contracts. They have just made that the industry standard when it comes to negotiations to playing basketball. And it all came from individual players demanding that their money be guaranteed. Demanded to be guaranteed against injury. So it comes from the little battles when, I get it. You're one of 53. Which this season you're one of 65, right? When they expanded the roster to 65, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
They expanded the roster. You're one of 65. It's hard to be like, you going to pay me all my money up front, right? Especially with the way the NFL rules about guaranteed money goes. If you don't know, the NFL guaranteed money rules say, and then this came up when Kirk Cousins got his $100 million guaranteed. He is, you have to set the money aside. Like, it has to automatically be put away in another bank account in escrow. So if they were going to guarantee everybody's money, they would have to have all that money set aside and unavailable for them to use throughout the course of the season without and those coming years as well. So it's a little bit more difficult in the NFL. But hey, maybe they forced them to change the rules. Things get a little wonky, and all of a sudden we got a better place for the NFL players to exist. Dark Sage, you didn't write what you were trying to put in the comments, man. So hopefully you do. He said it was going to come off like it was messed up, and I was like, I want to hear it now.
Yeah.
You can't just tease me.
Yeah, I'm more interested to hear what it is, because Ashton and I, we don't always agree on everything. So I mean,
yeah, we're going to disagree on something here coming up pretty soon, because one of Martin's precious ones, his fanboy that he simps for, is he went down bad this weekend. Went down in bad fashion. I'm interested to hear. I guess, man. Mm-hmm. I guess Martin doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm still hurt, dude.
He's fine, because it was a nerve injury, not a. That was weird. Anyway,
it is what it is. But I mean, it sucks for Gerald. I mean, obviously, he's getting up there in terms of NFL age, and that's one of those injuries and one of those things. He took it well, but he may never be on a team again, which is, it sucks to say. Even though he signed a 3-year deal, you tear your quad. That's one of those injuries that, if it doesn't heal 100%, you could be dealing with quad injuries and other leg injuries. Because if you listen to somebody like Stephania Bell, she always goes on about those type of injuries, like tearing your quad and other she has a word for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but injuries like that are much harder to come back from than the broken bones or
broken bones are broken bones. They heal.
Yeah, exactly. You tear your quad. That's like a soft tissue. It's not good. So that's your, to a certain degree, your brain's relearning how to utilize your new leg. So that's weird, especially with the nerve endings and muscle tissue and everything like that. But yeah, like Martin said, it's a totally different kind of comeback. Not even close. To what you would consider the normal in those situations. So yeah. And it's also funny just how a couple of the Cowboys fans that I'm friends with, just their season went up in flames when Gerald McCoy went down. And it's like, bro,
I guess they forgot about Aldon Smith, which is kind of weird.
I mean, if you're that set on you guys are the Super Bowl champs and your defensive tackle is the reason you're not, I don't know how much you actually believe those own words you're saying. But Ashton, it's time to move on to the game show part of our podcast. It's this one. I don't know where I stand on how quickly you'll get this one, but yeah, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Hi, My Name Is. Martin is going to give me a couple of clues, and you at home in the chat or on Twitter at FB_Playbook, you can hit me up there if you can do it fast enough, or if you're in the chat on Twitch, where I Broke Boy Sports on Twitch, follow us there. If you want to, try and guess, see if you can beat me. All right, Martin, fire away, man.
All right. So this one, we had Vince off the top of our show, so we're gonna stick with a little MMA feel. Hi, my name is a mixed martial artist. I am from California, just like Vince. I have only lost one fight my entire career, and it was by a judge decision.
A judge decision. One fight. I mean, it's John Jones?
No. Close.
Yeah.
Close.
John Jones lost off like a disqualification because of 12-6 elbows. Dominic Reyes?
Yeah, there you go. Getting
Yeah.
just one step below. It is Dominic Reyes coming in here. As you mentioned, John Jones, during the Stipe DC fight, Jones was tweeting saying, I'm basically saying I'm going up to heavyweight, and then later on we come to here, he comes out and says I'm vacating the lightweight championship because I want to step up to heavyweight. So now there is a vacant belt in the UFC, and that's one thing that Dana doesn't like is having vacant belts. So he wants to get that belt unified as quickly, or he wants that belt taken. He wants an and new, because you know how quickly and new goes viral every time it gets said. Um, every championship fight and new and still are some of the top trending things on my thing. But Dominic Reyes, he's coming in here, and earlier this week, Ashton, it was announced that he, along with Black. Oh God, I'm just gonna say Yan, Dominic Reyes and Yan Blankovitz. They're gonna be fighting. Get this, on the Paulo Costa Israel Adesanya card.
Paulo Costa. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people are missing on the opportunity to say Pablo.
Yeah.
I like saying that for some reason. But yeah, Paulo Costa, who's been talking cat shit to Stylebender for a long time, and now his jaw was messed up. Jaw was messed up. Now it's all healed up or whatever. So now he's getting a shot. Dude is shredded though, straight up.
Yeah,
I'm
UFC
interested to see how this shakes out.
UFC 253, we're gonna have 2 belts on the line, so there's gonna be a lot of hype around it. This fight in and of itself could have been a main event fight. Congratulations for Yan. I mean, he's probably not everybody's pick to be in for the championship title fight, but I mean he's done well enough for me personally to deserve it. I think there may have been, I don't know. He is ranked 3rd in the division, so I mean he kind of does it. He does deserve it. But what happened to Thiago Santos? Or it's Thiago Santos who's 2nd, right? Hold on, I need to pull that up.
I was gonna say, man. So Dominic Reyes is the guy who, for the first time in like a decade, I crunched the numbers together, and I think John Jones held that belt in between the gaps. Like he didn't hold it consecutively, but all the days compiled together that he was champion, it was like 1,500 days or something like that all together for him being the UFC light heavyweight champ. And when you thought about different weight classes in the UFC, light heavyweight always had this like cement top on it that nobody could ever break through, because John Jones is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, right? So Dominic Reyes is the first guy in about a decade that came close to even having any business for John Jones. And a lot of people, when they fought here in Houston, could argue that he won that fight. Dominic Reyes won that fight.
That was going to be my next clue for you if you didn't get it off the first one. Was a lot of people thought I beat John Jones the last time we fought, but
yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, Thiago Santos is ranked 2nd, but Yan is going to get the fight. So if I'm
the numbers don't matter.
Bro.
For once again, for the 50 billionth time in a row, Dana White has to remind you those numbers look nice. Okay. So you want to know? Here's a glimpse into like why rankings don't matter unless it like comes with some kind of stakes behind it. The rankings are for the people who don't pay attention to the sport. Sure. So they instantaneously know who's supposed to win and who's supposed to lose. Because for a long time they couldn't put the betting odds on TV, and they still really can in certain cases, right? They couldn't put betting odds on TV. The UFC and really the fight world is the number one sport to embrace it as a whole, to be like, hey, here's where they think the money is supposed to be going. So like, this is who you should be looking at in this situation, in this fight, to do this, right? And those numbers are like pseudo betting odds to a certain degree that people can sit behind. They actually add stakes to the game, because if there's a fight if there's a bout between number 1 and number 2, or like a game between number 1 and number 2, you always wondering like, who's going to win it? You know what I mean? That's a real thing. So anyway, that's all I'll say on that one, man. The numbers in the UFC have proven many times over that they are kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, but here's like, if you go back and look at Santos, obviously he lost. The last time he fought was against Jones back in July of 2019. So he hasn't fought in over a year, which is weird in of itself. So I mean, I guess since Yan's fought before him, maybe, but it's just weird that the number 2 ranked fighter in the division, hasn't fought in over a year. And then Yan and Santos fought each other in February of 2019, and Santos won. So it's just really, I personally think there's something wrong with Thiago Santos, and we don't know about it. Because to get skipped over for a guy you beat is a little weird. I'm looking up right now to see if he.
Yeah,
Looks
he
like he might be
shredded his
okay.
entire knee.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is he the one that won? Or okay, I forgot. I blanked on that one. My bad. He tore his knee.
No, he shredded. Yeah, he shredded his whole knee. It was like the MCL, PCL, ACL, which I was like, I don't remember the last time I saw Thiago Santos fight, to be honest with you, because I know I watched that fight I know I watched his fight versus John Jones. I just don't remember, because there's been so many people who have just lost to John Jones. It's hard to recall who all of them are. But Thiago's he tore his whole he tore his shit up. Like ACL, the whole thing is wrecked.
ACL, MCL, PCL, and meniscus in his left knee.
Yeah, that's the whole knee.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's the reason he hasn't fought in a year.
Yeah. No, it happens, man. Yeah.
I can learn to.
Oh my God! It did it again.
He'll be back into the mix here, but yeah, that's how my name is. It was Dominic Reyes.
Yeah. So let's move on with a couple of media suggestions we got here.
I got 2 of them here, man. I don't know how many you got here, Martin. Do you want to go first? Or you want me?
This week I have just been watching as much the NBA playoffs, trying to catch the UFC.
Media suggestion: watch the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I some of the media I haven't had a chance to listen to much media. So
I got a podcast. Actually, I got 2 podcasts here. So ESPN Daily talked to Doris Burke, who is, if you got problems with Doris Burke, I'll fight you in the fucking alley. Like, I don't give a shit. Doris Burke, one of the best broadcasters of our time, and about her journey to remember Doris at one point, I think a lot of us forget, Doris had COVID-19. So her journey through recovery and who she was with and how everybody needs to take it seriously, because she did not have a good time when she was stuck at home during COVID-19 and everything like that. But I will say, check that out. That's a really good one. And also, they got a chance to talk about the entire NBA playoffs, where it stood. I think that was like Tuesday's episode. This other one was written. This is an article written by a staff writer at ESPN. It's June Lee, who you can follow him on Twitter at JOONLEE. And it is about how high school athletes are walking billboards because of their social media presence, and how they can build themselves up in high school to have endorsements before they ever set foot on an NBA court. It's pretty cool, because the opening line is like, LaMelo has 5.5 million followers on Instagram. Bronny James has 5.4 million. Mikey Williams, who is quickly becoming one of the more popular basketball players in the country because of his flirtation with the idea of going to an HBCU and being the number 1 basketball player ranked in the country. Mikey Williams, 2.3. And Jalen Green, 1 million followers. Jalen Green is one of the guys who signed up to go to play for the NBA G League team, the specific developmental team. So that is an article about that. It's really good. Check that out. Other one is The Old Man and the Three, which is JJ Redick's new podcast. His most recent episode had Sue Bird on it. I haven't listened to it yet. The other episode that I think you should listen to is the one with Jason Tatum. I thought it was a really good conversation. Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. JJ Redick has a lot of respect amongst the current NBA players, and they all have some kind of memory of him in some way, shape, or form. I listened to I will say also listen to the one with Dwayne Wade. You should just listen to them all. But the Dwayne Wade one was really good. D-Wade talked about how going back to Chicago, playing for the Bulls because he's from Chicago, was really trippy for him. And anytime he would go play with the Miami Heat in Chicago, would also trip him out as well. So that's what I got for media suggestions. ESPN Daily episode with Doris Burke this week. Old Man and the Three with Jason Tatum, and the other one with Dwayne Wade. Oh, also that article, which let me get the title for you. It is called Do It for the Gram. Followers and likes are the currency of high school hoops. So check it out.
Yep. So let's move on to our second to last segment of the show here, Ashton. We're going to do some quick fire, what's going on, just quickly go over some stuff. It's NBA playoff season in August. It's a little weird to say, but obviously things have changed a little bit this year. So we're getting a lot of sports on TV. We thought it was going to be the NFL is getting ready to kick off, so we're going to have even more sports. But right now, the NBA playoffs are sort of the must-watch thing, and we can't ignore it, Ashton. The 2 number 1 seeds both lost in the first game.
Yeah, man, the Bucks took an L to a Magic team without Aaron Gordon and without Terrence Ross, I believe, as well, which is really trippy. And right now they're actually up over the Magic. I looked like it was 15 points when I was looking away from the while you were doing the intro for this segment. But the Bucks, it's not a great showing. Remember, this year has some deeper implications for the Bucks. Not only are they going for an NBA championship like every other team, right? Their whole focus is trying to convince Giannis to please don't leave. Please don't leave for this upcoming season, because it is about that time. So the other team, led by the greatest teammate of all time in the history of the NBA, the LA Lakers, LeBron James, took on Dame Lillard, and like so many other people suspected, the Trailblazers didn't go down. They held the LA Lakers to under 100 points, which is the 3rd time it's happened in the bubble. It's very strange how bad their offense has been. And the Lakers, as a whole, bad news, guys. When you shoot 35% from the field and 15% from 3, you typically don't win that game.
Yeah, you're not gonna win in today's NBA. And the thing is, Portland has basically been playing playoff basketball since the bubble started. Like, the Lakers kind of coasted when the bubble started. They kind of haven't even.
So they
haven't gotten off the ground at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just kind of.
They've been jockeying for like weird positioning to work on like rotations. They've been trying to figure out how to get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope accustomed to playing point guard 100% of the time when he's on the court, because they don't have Rajon Rondo for the foreseeable future because he broke his hand. He might be back at some point or another, but I have a strange feeling like when you break your hand, typically you don't come back like great at playing basketball. And combine that with Avery Bradley choosing to stay home and work on social justice and work on injustice in his community and make it a better place, and also to make sure that his family is going to be safe. I'll look at the Portland Trailblazers, and this is what I saw from them. The smart decision, or the decision that I came to, which not necessarily mean it's smart because I'm pretty dumb, right? We know this, but my instantaneous reaction was like, people were asking like, who are they going to defend? Who are they going to put on Bron? I'm like, it's Melo, guys. Like, the answer has been Melo. Like, I don't know, like what do you really you want? Like, what do you want? It's Melo the whole time, and it's Melo, and it was Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. got in LeBron James's ass a good chunk of that game. He got in there. Like, he was around the corner on the colonoscopy up there, man. He was there.
he was probably like 1 or 2 possessions away from blowing in LeBron's ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was. He was getting Lance Stevenson levels.
See, Lance Stevenson was trying to get into LeBron James' head when he did that. I think Gary Trent Jr. is already there.
See,
I'm kidding.
Really quickly, just last thing for me on the Lakers is, if they come out flat in Game 2, this series is over. Personally, if they come out and shoot the same way they did in Game 1, obviously they're going to lose. But I didn't watch the full game, but what I did see, it looked like they were not interested in being there at all. And for a LeBron James-led team to even give me that impression in the couple of minutes that I watched, Lakers fans, I think, should be a little bit worried.
Here comes negative Nancy.
No,
Martin.
I'm not being negative.
He starts talking shit about Messi. Starts talking shit about LeBron James's greatness.
I didn't say anything about it. I'm just saying.
You're talking about the man who beat the greatest team in the history of the NBA to win a championship. You're talking about the man who came back from down 3-1 versus the Golden State Warriors to win a championship. Yeah, light work. Don't get too excited, guys. So yeah, the Lakers play a little bit later on tonight versus the Trailblazers. Wait, is it tonight or tomorrow? It's all the days blur together.
No,
Martin is looking that up. Did they play yesterday? They played yesterday.
No, it is Portland tonight.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, check that out today. By the way, we forgot Martin. Today's Thursday, August 20th.
Oh, yeah.
So in case you're still in the blur that is quarantine, or if you're a sports fan and the days all just kind of jam together because now sports are back and they're back in like an overdose type of sense, like way too much sports all at one time. They are back. The Lakers, and what I saw from the Portland Trailblazers was a combination of this. I was not surprised. I was thoroughly surprised that they let Yusuf Nurkic get into such foul trouble. The biggest thing for me was Hassan Whiteside had to hang out in that paint and take the fouls away from Yusuf Nurkic so he doesn't foul out, so they can keep the triumvirate, which I affectionately call CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, and Yusuf Nurkic when they're out there on the court. But I will say, Lakers start just driving to the hole, man. Start trying to pick up these fouls. We get Yusuf Nurkic in some foul trouble early here. They get Hassan Whiteside out here, and they have to put Zach Collins in the game. Now we talk a little business. Now we talk more minutes, more Zach Collins is what the Lakers want. Less Yusuf Nurkic. And I think there's something to be said about the fantastic defensive performance Hassan Whiteside put on, because the refs have been out of pocket the whole first round of the playoffs, man.
Every
this shit
it
is bananas, the stuff that's getting called out here, man. Like,
did they know it's the playoffs? Did they know, like,
that was my thing too. I was like, I guess we call it regular season fouls in the playoffs now. Like,
some of the, I mean, KP's ejection for the Mavericks, like, yeah, we say fuck Dallas on the show. He shouldn't have been ejected.
But yeah, we don't. No. We want Dallas to fuck themselves on an even playing field. We don't want them. Exactly. By the way, fuck the Rangers. So
that was fuck the
shout out to Tatis Jr., who is now, by the way, they have a ESPN Daily podcast about him as well, where they talk to a reporter who went down to the DR. His dad was a good baseball player, and his son is very good, and his brother is supposedly really good too. So check that out. And apparently his grandfather was really good as well too. But yeah, so Fernando Tatis Jr., that's our new favorite baseball player, Martin.
For sure, 100%. Really quickly, the only thing I'm worried about with Portland winning Game 1 is they're on the Rockets side of the bracket, man. Like,
I mean, Martin.
I don't want to play.
See, Martin could never be in the NBA. He focused on the next round of the playoffs. Dude. They're not even done with the first round.
I'm just looking ahead.
We're one game into a playoff series, and he worried about playing the Portland Trailblazers in the second round. This man, wow.
I'm already on to the second round, dude. I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm gonna jinx the Rockets. It would.
This guy.
The only thing, like, as just a fan, and not like the biggest fan of the basketball, but I love watching it still. Who do you think Mike D'Antoni would rather go up against? LeBron and AD with small ball, or Damian Lillard, McCollum, and the rest of the squad who have been playing playoff basketball for the past month and a half?
I'm gonna go with the Portland Trailblazers for 500%, please. Okay. So I will say this. When they play the Lakers in the second round, the Rockets, they'll be billing that as David versus Goliath to lean in on the small ball, and it's going to be really annoying. I can see it already.
I can see the ESPN Monday Night Football graphic already being made. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. By the way, shout out to Louis Riddick for landing a spot in the booth for Monday Night Football. Shout out to Steve Levy. Steve Levy's cool.
Was it Brian Greasy the third?
Sure. I don't know who the other guy is.
I think it's Brian Greasy.
Brian Greasy, like the former Purdue quarterback. Like his dad was good or some shit like that.
Yeah, Brian Greasy, Louis Riddick, and Steve Levy.
Biggest part of that is that Louis Riddick about to change the way that you see football.
Dude, he's done a few of the Monday, like you know how ESPN does the double headers now on Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
He's been the second booth a few times, and oh my God, it's gonna be night and day between him and Booger. I'm sorry, Booger McFarland, you're a funny dude. You're not a commentator for Monday Night Football. Like,
Louis Riddick about to be talking about salary cap amounts,
dude,
and like don't let them put the Browns versus the Jets on Monday Night Football. We'll be talking salary cap numbers by the third quarter, baby. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, if you're a fan of the NBA draft, he has probably been my favorite person to watch during the NFL draft. I don't know if I just said NBA draft, but NFL draft. On ESPN's coverage, he's kind of wipes the floor with Todd McShay and the other guy, he who shall not be named because he's trash at his job.
Wow, you a hater.
Oh, dude, I don't like Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper is one of the probably the worst draft rater in the business. It's not even a close second. He's that bad. It is what it is.
Mel
Anyways,
Kiper's cool, man. He seems like a nice gentleman. I will say this, since we're talking about the draft tonight, when the Golden State Warriors get the number 1 pick in the NBA lottery draft, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
Oh my God! By the way, that's a real thing. They have a 14% chance of getting the number 1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft.
Have you seen the meme that's going around of New York Knicks fans getting ready for the
draft? with the
Joker
flaming, and then in the eye is the New York Knicks logo.
Knicks, yes, in his eye, dude. It's fucking. Some of the memes that get made, dude, are just fucking awesome.
I love sport. I love and hate sports so very much at the same time. Anyway, back to the NBA playoffs. Good luck to the Lakers, because it seemed like the Portland Trailblazers not playing around. They making it seem like you're going to have to take it from them. Yep. Somebody going to have to get hurt. Don't know how CJ McCollum is playing with a broken back, and also how nobody's talking about it. And I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to the Portland Trailblazers. They honestly, man, what's been most impressive is their defensive performance, especially down low, because I think all their big men finished with 4 fouls, which guess what? You don't foul out with 4, baby. Foul out with 6. It's all good. Hopefully the refs stop being dicks to everybody. They had to repeal one of James Harden's fouls today because Steven Adams tried to back him down, and then James pulled the chair from underneath him, and he fell down, and they're like, that's a foul. And I'm like, no, that's basketball. So it's not his fault that he's big dude. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say, do you want to talk about the Mavericks first or the process?
You know, man. I feel like since it's the grand finale of the process, we should save it for the last tidbit for NBA playoffs. The Dallas Mavericks, they're still not clutch, but when you're up by 20 in the fourth, it kind of doesn't matter. The Clippers got decimated last night, and it was a combination of Luka excellently running the pick and roll like he has most of his career, and on top of that, Boban
popped off.
Boban went off for like 10 points in a quarter, and if that's the saving. By the way, the other underlying thing that was there, Patrick Beverley didn't play because of like a left calf injury or something like that, which, by the way, I think is Doc Rivers trying to test the Mavericks gangster and be like, can we win without playing Patrick Beverley? By the way, Reggie Jackson had, I think it was 12 points. He hit like 3 threes for his first 3 shots that he made in the game. So he was out there cooking a little bit. Defense not as good as Patrick Beverley's naturally, but I will say this: Paul George getting 3 fouls in the first quarter did not help the situation.
No, it didn't
at all.
He didn't even have. I don't think he had. I think he had 0 points at halftime as well, right? Like,
yeah, because he missed almost the entire first half.
Yeah, like that,
it was wild.
That probably won't happen in Game 3.
See, that's another thing too. Like, there's a bunch of these things in kids. This is how you break down NBA playoff games. You look at the outliers of the situation. You played 82 games up to this point. You know, if you know anything about basketball, you know every once in a while, especially if you played basketball, somebody who's not good at basketball plays basketball well for a little period of time. That happens all the time. It happens to me, right? Like, I suck at basketball, but once every, 2 or 3 times a year, I play really well. Mm-hmm. Don't count on Boban dropping almost 15 on the Clippers. And just to be honest with you, that's a huge piece of why they were able to get that win last night, man. That's a huge part of it last night.
100%.
And of course, like Luka doing his thing. Kristaps was draining it from range, though. I don't know what they're gonna do about that. I will say this, man. Oh, go ahead.
Here's my thing: was that the Mavs' best game? Like, was that? Like,
See, that's a great question, because if it was, that means they're gonna lose this series.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they blow their load too soon?
Did you peak in Game 2 of the NBA playoffs?
Exactly. Like, is that because? I mean, if that's the best you can do, and they fucking tried, and they were up 15 to 20 points multiple times in the game, and let the Clippers come back. So all the Clippers have to do, go watch the tape, tell Paul PG, like, look, what the fuck are you doing? Stop fouling. Stop fouling them.
Somebody's got to yell at the refs a little bit more.
Exactly.
That's Patrick Beverley's job, by the way.
Yeah, like just if that's the Mavs' best game, I mean, I'd be worried as a Dallas. I mean, yeah, you got the win. Boban finally looked like he could be a little bit of a problem for the for the Clippers. But yeah,
by the way, if it's a close game or the Clippers had the lead, that's 2 to 3 possible scenarios in this game, right? Mm-hmm. If it's a close game or the Clippers have the lead, they get the win.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time. So, yeah, that feeds into the idea that the Mavericks are going to take this L.
Yeah.
All right. We got how many more?
This is the last part.
What was it? I was going to say don't watch the Heat Pacers series.
That's getting put on NBA TV. You don't even, nobody even pays for that. Come on.
It was on ESPN. It was the first game of the day. It was not fun to watch. It is the Heat being better. Like, it's the Heat being 6 points better than the Pacers the entire game.
Yeah, it
looks like it's a close game, but it's not.
These two teams really, should they even be in these are some of the teams that
Heat should. The Heat definitely should. The Pacers, that's a team that they don't spend a lot of money on dudes, and the fact that they're like a top 5 seed is pretty impressive for them because they don't they all about finding players, assessing players. Malcolm Brogdon has disappeared again, but nobody wants to talk about that. Victor Oladipo's still hurt but playing in the bubble. But hey, that'll be good for him next year. TJ Warren's doing really good, but a lot of people, the Heat, they're both running full speed, but one is just clearly faster than the other. But the faster, it's like they're just out of arm's reach, right? Like you're running full speed, I'm running full speed, and I'm an arm length away from you. So it looks like it's close, but it's not because we're both already running as fast as we're going to run.
I'll say this: I would rather see the Suns than either of those two teams. That's where I'm at with.
Man, don't hate on the Heat. I like the Heat a lot. I like because I like good defenses, and the Heat play pretty damn good defense. Also, I like Bam Adebayo and Eric Spoelstra because they rebuilt that team by getting
damn good coach.
Yeah, Spoelstra, and that's the weird part, man. Because you look at Nick Nurse with the Raptors, you look at Eric Spoelstra, you look at Brian Stevens. And you're just like, those are 3 of the best coaches in the NBA, and they're all in the weaker conference in the NBA playoffs. And then you look over at the other side where it's like Frank Vogel. A lot of people talk shit about him, about how he's not good at his job because he coaches the Lakers, and that's the price of being the coach of LeBron James, because everything that goes well is on him, and everything that goes wrong is on everybody else. So that's just how it goes when that's the price of greatness to a certain degree. And you look at the Rockets top 3 pick, right? Or top four seed. People talk shit about Mike D'Antoni all the time.
Oh, I'm on that train. I lead the Mike D'Antoni hate train. I'm telling you.
And the only guy you look at the top 5, the only 2 guys you talk about, Stotts from the Jazz, a lot of respect for him, and Doc Rivers for the Clippers, a lot of respect for him as well. Rick Carlisle, I respect him a lot. Rick Carlisle been holding it down for a long time, no lie.
And then, his name, not Brad Stevens, Billy Donovan at OKC.
Oh, yeah, with the Thunder. Yeah. By the way, I still make this point. I don't know how the Thunder's GM still has his goddamn job. He's good enough to draft you 3 future MVPs of the NBA.
Yeah, and then
let them all go. That's so. Anyway,
speaking of draft and the process, AshTon, I've got my little toll bell over here. I'm ringing, ding, ding, for the process. You've put in here the process may be come to its conclusion.
It's over. It's
over.
It's throwing the towel. No, man.
Insert Herb Dean letting a couple of punches go first before calling the fight. You could have called it last season.
So, side note, in my Quidditch basketball group, by the way, Quidditch players are very interested in all other sports, and they make funny memes. I got one off. I popped off the meme. It was the Drake crying in his new music video with live look into Celtics versus 76ers right now, and it's just Drake crying. So yeah, it's over. Anyway, By the way, fantastic timing, Martin, because Joel Embiid is now rolling out his signature shoe for Under Armour. Fantastic timing to watch them get their asses annihilated in the first round of the playoffs by like 20 points.
And people were trying to say like it's a rivalry, like it can't be a rivalry.
It used to be.
It can't be a rivalry if it's a one-sided affair. Like the Celtics continually to just pound the 76ers. Like I sort of feel bad because it's Philadelphia. You know they're diehard fans, so that you know they stuck through the process.
They lucky as fuck that there's no fans in the crowd, because if they because that second game would have been in Boston, I think, because Boston's the high seed. I was gonna say
Boston 3 for 6.
Them Philadelphia games, they booing the whole fucking game unless you win.
Yeah.
Even if you lose by like some crazy buzzer beater or whatever, they booing the fuck out of you. Like they're like people missing work to come to your house and boo you tomorrow. Anyway, I can't imagine the shit that they wrote to him on Twitter.
Yeah, I feel like you can. It's just something about like you put in there. Their pace is brutal. It looks clunky. They look like a not well-oiled machine.
Let's break it down and like look at the lineups, right? Like you look at the starters, because the starters initiate and they finish every game, right? Shake Milton, rookie. Tobias Harris, really good basketball player, no question about that whatsoever. Not necessarily the guy that you can build everything around, because if you recall, Tobias Harris is the reason the Clippers are in the situation that they're in now. Because at one point he was the only guy who was dope as fuck on that team, and now they got like 12 dudes that are dope as hell on the Clippers team. Shout out to Tobias Harris, but he's not the guy who is takeover. He doesn't have a fuck you mode from what I understand, which is, if you're not familiar with sports, fuck you mode is like, regardless of what the defense is doing, this shit is going down.
It's
like,
the Mamba mentality.
It happens to Kevin Durant like all the time. Like Kevin Durant lives in fuck you mode, because it's like, well, you can stack like 3 people on top of each other, shoulder to shoulder, and I'm still taking this fadeaway jumper and it's still swishing, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit. And Tobias Harris, Shake Milton, looking at that Matisse Thybulle, who superstar rookie that everybody loves online. Still got to work on the shooting. Plays good defense. Plays pretty good defense. Has good length or whatever. But then we get to the part that by the way, for all you motherfuckers that keep trying to slander Al Horford's name, stop it. Stop disrespecting Al Horford. We know he's a good basketball player. Just because he's not working out here with the 76ers doesn't mean he's a trash-ass basketball player anymore, man. He's just not. So, like, they can't. Like, it's Brent Brown's fault they keep trying to run 2 centers, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. So stop trashing my dude Al Horford. No Ben Simmons because of the leg injury. Combine that with your offense now runs solely through a center in the year 2020.
He's not Shaq. You gotta remember, he ain't Shaq.
No. He and Martin, to his credit, versatile center. Mm-hmm. Like, can shoot the mid range, can shoot the 3, can move the ball around, has the awareness, has the ability to set really good screens. Great, like a more versatile center, like a 2020 center, but still the focal point of the offense in 2020. Not gonna work. Especially considering the other team got, let's see,
they got athletes all over.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, who are like, if we're breaking down guards, 2 of those motherfuckers are top 25 in the league right now.
They don't even have Gordon Hayward now. Like,
don't have Gordon Hayward. Didn't look like it was really a problem last night.
They were like, oh, we don't have Gordon Hayward again? All right, that's fine. We know what to do.
The disrespect. Shout out to Gordon Hayward.
Hey, I love Gordon Hayward. He's a huge gamer, so I love it.
Yeah, shout out to Gordon Hayward. Wishing him a very speedy recovery, because that shit looked like it hurt, whatever happened to him. So whatever really happened to him, not what was reported.
Yep.
Did you see Shams talked about all the teams got sent a memo about, hey man, stop sending bullshit injuries. Start posting with the injuries. Yeah. The NBA coaches were trying to slowly work towards what hockey injuries look like. They're like, yeah, he's got an upper, he's got a lower.
They were trying to get away with it. They got caught.
They're like, no more high. Yeah, I need specifics. I need like calf strain. something like that. So yeah,
the NFL's trying to do it as well. I noticed it a lot last year, or especially when like Bill O'Brien would give the injury update. He's got a knee. He's got a knee.
Don't believe the Patriots injury report.
Yeah,
By the way, if anybody's ever questionable, it's because they miss like. By the way, you can be deemed questionable if you miss a single play in practice.
Yeah.
So
it's
also Bill Belichick does that shit on purpose.
Yeah.
He like messes with it on purpose. Like literally, when people call him out about it, everybody will be on the injury report the following day, and he'll just like put the whole team on it for fun. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple more points we want to get to before UFC nicknames, Ashton. We've got a huge game this weekend in the soccer world. Paris Saint-Germain playing Bayern München or Munich.
Is that how you say it?
Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris
Saint-Germain. Actually, it's Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris
Saint-Germain. Neymar.
They about to go wild in France if PSG pull this one off.
Neymar and the oil money going up against Bayern and the better team, in my opinion.
How you gonna disrespect Mbappe like that, man?
Oh, dude. Don't get me started on Mbappe, please. He is...
Oh, God, Martin, with the hate.
That's why I said don't get me started on him, dude. Like, give me Robert Lewandowski 10 out of 10 days of the week, 7 out of 7 days of the week, 10 out of 10 times over anybody that is on PSG. He has scored in every single Champions League game this season. If he scores 2 goals, it's either 2 or 3 goals in the final, he will pass Ronaldo's record for number of goals scored in a Champions League season. Bayern has been on an absolute tear. They've fucking dismantled Barcelona 8-2. And in the semifinals, they made it look fairly easy.
Are they gonna get the Trimber? What is it? The Trimber? Where they get all 3?
Oh, the treble?
Yeah, the treble.
Yeah,
because I know they won Bundesliga.
Yeah, they
like
won the
2 games into the return. Did they win the German Cup?
I think they won the German Cup. Like in German Cup 2020. Hold on.
While you do that, I'm gonna go get the board.
Okay, German Cup 2020. Yeah, Bayern Munich won it. They're winning everything this year. PSG. What's funny about this one is the fact that people think that both of these leagues are. They kind of call these. I'm waiting for Ashton to put his headset on so you can hear. There we go. So they call the French league, or actually Bundesliga not so much, but the French league and the Italian league really, or not the Italian league. There's another league that they call the Farmers League because it's really not the best soccer overall. Like PSG will win the French league for the next 100 years, basically. There's no.
Oh, of course.
They won't. There's no real challenge for PSG. So yeah, they've made it to the final, but they also have the Man City effect where they're backed by oil giants, and so they have more money than they know what to do with. So they throw it at players, and they like their bench could probably start for most other teams, but it is what it is. So if you're into that type of thing, they are sponsored by Jordan, which is fucking cool.
Jordan brand for sure. Yeah. A lot of people like their gear.
So you're gonna see a lot of people pretending to be PSG bandwagon or PSG fans. They're gonna be on the bandwagon.
Shout out to Raheel Ramzanali of the No Layups podcast, who as soon as PSG qualified for the final, he pulled out his PSG Jordans. Yep. So yeah, letting people know.
On the other side,
he wants you to know that he's better than you.
Deshaun Watson. If you follow him on any social media, you saw him. He is a huge Bayern Munich fan, and so we all know who he'll be pulling for. Just really quickly, I'm going Bayern 2, PSG 1 in the final. I just think Bayern looks unbeatable, right? Like absolute. They are on a different. Like there's every team. There's PSG and just about every other team, and then there's Bayern Munich just miles above everybody. So it'll be interesting.
Did you figure out if Alphonso Davies would be the first Canadian to win the Champions League?
Probably, because I couldn't even tell you another Canadian that's made it that far. Canadian.
Alphonso Davies will soon be the King of Canada.
Oh, dude.
And they dismantled the monarchy quite some time ago, but I think they'll bring it back for his special case. And on top, I think he's dating like one of the Olympic athletes for Canada, like another one of the Olympians for Canada. So like he about to he's about to rule that entire country. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will be.
Alphonso Davies is like the first Canadian to ever make it to the Champions League.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Champions League final. Check that out. Do you know what time it's supposed to be at, like, in America? No?
3 o'clock kickoff, I believe.
I'll watch it after I play pickup soccer.
The hard part is finding where it's on TV, and that was going to be
Should be FS1.
Well, that's the thing. The round of 16, quarterfinal, and semifinal were all on CBS Sports. But get this, they weren't live on CBS Sports. If I wanted to watch Bayern in the semifinal, I would have had to tune in at 8 p.m. when the game kicked off at 2 p.m. our time. It's like the 70s or the 80s, you know, where they played all the games on delay later.
Delay.
Yeah, tape delay. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's 2020.
Yeah, so Mark, we can get into a really stupid financial conversation about how soccer leagues just flat out refuse to sit on one channel. They refuse to sit with one TV provider, TV broadcaster. Like, for instance, they just refuse to. They sign short deals. They sign like 2-year deals. And then before, you get accustomed to watching on FS1 or a certain time or whatever, and they never play it at the time it's supposed to be. They always have like some reason why it's on another channel or like why it's on an alternate channel or something like that. And before you know it, we can't watch soccer in a reasonable manner anymore. ESPN tried to get into the whole soccer game, and it was too difficult to keep up with the EPL. We remember we had that super boring conversation in the middle of quarantine about how most EPL teams are fucking broke. Like they're fake rich, and they needed to get this season off so they can get some of their money back or whatever. And that's a huge part of why the TV deals are the way that they are, because they always want like new infusions of more money because they want to keep upping the price. And for them to be like, yeah, we're going to sign with this TV network for 5 years in America is like just difficult for them to wrap around their heads as more lucrative because they don't want to be stuck in long-term contracts. So that's a stupid conversation.
It's going to kick off 2 o'clock Central on Sunday. It will be available live on the CBS Sports Network. I just don't understand that business decision. Like, why put the Champions League behind a paywall? Like, just why? Like, what? I understand it was on.
It's like they hate us or something.
It was on Bleacher Report, which was also behind a paywall, and I fucking hated it. Like, just if you're gonna.
What paywall does Bleacher Report have? That's TNT. Owned by TNT.
Yeah, it's TNT. Yeah. It's like you had to buy a special package through Bleacher Report. It was BR Sports. Dude, it was. Trust me, the past 2 seasons of Champions League, I've probably watched just the final simply because, or no, I watched Barcelona Liverpool. Yeah, dude, it just doesn't make sense to do that. Just if you're gonna put the final on CBS Sports, put the whole fucking thing on CBS Sports, dude. Like, I understand you want to promote CBS All Access, but I mean, at one point there was tweets about people saying I'd never heard of CBS All Access before. Like,
yeah, they had what event was it that they had? It was God damn it. Was it the NWSL championship? Yeah, it was the It was the NWSL, like not even the championship. The championship was on CBS, local station here in Houston, but NWSL championship for the games. Like all the NWSL games are on CBS All Access, which you wouldn't have heard of unless you were like a March Madness freak like the rest of us or whatever, Exactly. So yeah. Money in soccer. Yeah, we know. It's stupid.
It's dumb.
Moving on.
Yeah. Quickly, the NFL training camp is underway. That gives us a quick little mention. If you want to go on Thrive Fantasy on Google or the Apple App Store, go ahead and download it. It is a free download. Use the code BROKEBOY when you sign up and put $20 down. You'll get a $20 bonus given right back to you. So that is going to be a $40 bet. And just know, once things get started, they've already got things available for you to take a look at props-wise, because #PropUp with Thrive Fantasy. NFL Thursday, the Texans and the Chiefs are kicking off the season. You got a $25 entry, $2,500 going to first. Then on the first Sunday of the NFL season, a $25 entry fee, and that is going to give you $5,500 to first place. And if you're just a touchdown fan, if you are one of those people that just watch the football for the touchdowns, you can get in on some prop actions for touchdowns only on Sundays. $20 entry on week 1, $2,500 the first. So if you were to go to Thrive Fantasy, use code BROKEBOY and put $20 down, you could get into one of these games. So it'll, yeah, go ahead and download Thrive Fantasy, use code BROKEBOY, and that leaves us with just. Do you want to mention anything else about training camp at all, Ashton? I know there's been some injuries from day one.
The only thing I wanted to mention about NFL training camp was, hey man, y'all don't hype up these videos too much.
Yeah, the Chase Young one.
You're watching wide receivers catch footballs on air, and I get it, you're excited to watch football, but for some of you psychopaths that are drafting fantasy football leagues before the first week, before the week prior to the season opener, that's a level of stupid I just can't get behind. Anyway,
yeah. There's been a lot of injuries. That sucks. No preseason, so if you're doing fantasy, you're not going to be able to see shit until week 1. So this season it's almost like everyone's going in blind to.
You need to sit back and watch and wait for dudes to go down, because they are gonna go down.
Yeah.
Like those dudes are gonna get hurt, man.
Yeah. Our
I
league
can tell you right now, we already know. Like I told Martin this, we know one guy who, whatever. Never mind.
All right.
Hopefully he'll come on the show and tell us what happened. But
yeah. Last thing but not least, I couldn't go this show without mentioning it, Ashton. I talked about it off the top. We're adding the E in front of sports here real quick, guys. If you've been paying attention, there's a new game out called Fall Guys, and one of the most famous streamers right now on Twitch, Tim the Tatman, if you've heard of him, you know he's kind of eccentric, and if you've heard of him, then you know that everybody has been getting in on farming impressions because he struggled. Basically, Fall Guys is a party game that if you've ever watched Wipeout, a Mario Party, or if you've ever watched Wipeout on TV, it's literally Wipeout as a video game. And so a lot of people have gotten one win. Tim struggled, to say the least, to get his first win. Everybody was clowning on him. And then the other day, Ashton, get this, over 325,000 people. That's 3 big houses. That's 3 Jerry Worlds full of people watching this man try and get a game or a win on a video game that he himself says is designed for 6-year-olds. It's just a sign of. I don't even know. I both hate.
This is, by the way, this moment right here is why G4 is coming back. G4 was ahead of its time. G4, gaming channel, is coming back, and they announced it like a couple weeks ago, and people lost their shit. Yeah. This is why it's coming back.
Yeah, it's
because of these type of moments. They want to capture those not only online, but they want to be like, we have TV ratings that are like actual numbers of people who are on streams that people can watch and video, and you can. There's so much more gaming news out there in the world than there ever has been.
Yeah, it's been wild to watch. It's also been a little sickening, the amount of just companies that are trying to get in on getting an impression. For people that don't know, an impression is whenever somebody clicks on your link, or as far as just looks at your tweet, retweets it, likes it.
You can actually look at each tweet that you have and see the number of impressions you made.
And our world today revolves around impressions. That is what every company wants, and so obviously they're going to get it. It was just so dumb. It got to the point where I woke up the other day, the day he got his win, and ESPN pushed me an article recapping his struggle to get a win, and it's just stuff like that I'm not a fan. They're literally just using Tim's stream as a way to get people to click on ESPN, and
ain't giving him a dime.
That's how it works. And the craziest part about it, Ashton, I'll never forget. If people on Twitch and stuff, you know how chat flow, like people have been in chat rooms before. I've never seen anything like what the chat room was like when he actually got the win. He made over $30,000 in less than a minute. Think about that. he was getting so many donations and so many subscriptions that he made $30,000 before you could go to the bathroom and back. It is one of the most craziest things I've ever been a part of. And also, I've got to give credit to Tim. We are in weird ass fucking times, and he was able to provide there's a debate on if he was trying to lose on purpose, and if you've got 325,000 people watching you, of course you're going to try and make that losing streak go as long as possible because more people are going to come in. It's FOMO. People don't want to miss your win, so they're going to keep coming in and keep coming in. So I've got to give him credit for giving a little bit of a cool moment in 2020 in a year of a shitstorm. He provided some entertainment, and that's his only job, and he did it well, and you got to give it to him, man. 325,000 people. Like, think about the most packed stadium you've ever been in or seen. Times it by 3. And that's how many people are in it. It's wild. It's wild.
We go from talking about a stream to talking about a form of entertainment that is changing drastically. DC Comics cut a third of their staff this past week, Martin.
Fuck that.
Disney's one step closer to dominating the world.
Yep. They'll probably buy
Disney that owns Marvel,
yep.
That owns us somehow. I don't know how, but they own us. I'm sure they do. But yeah, DC dropped 33% of their staff this week, and they're owned by Warner Brothers.
Quickly, I actually just clicked refresh on Twitter, AShton, and I'm seeing this. Madden 21 is available a week early for certain people, so it's already trending that people are pissed off that it's literally just a roster update. Death, taxes, and people getting mad over sports games being just a roster updates is like the new guarantees in life. And I've started the download. I've literally, as I'm sitting here, clicked the download button. So after this, your boy will be getting on Madden 21. Its official release date is just over a week, August 28th. But for certain people that have access to the
the elites like Martin.
No, it's basically EA. They call it EA Play. # no free ads. It's their basically you pay for a service. You can play certain games and get them for free since you're paying for a subscription, and you get to play them a couple of days early. So if you're out there and want a game at Madden NFL 21, hit your boy up, Chrome on twitch.tv. Thank you for everybody that's chilling on the Broke Boy Sports Twitch page. If you are in the chat right now, go ahead and just drop us a little follow. We're currently trying to grow our followership, grow our viewership, and everything in between. And AShton, I think our goal was under 2 hours today. We're 15 minutes over, so let's try and get through the nicknames a little bit quicker than we did last week, where I took forever.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, our guest that we got today was actually due to this game that we're playing, and hopefully the next one after that as well. The UFC has immensely talented athletes from all over the world, and there's one thing that ties them all together. Only the good ones have dope-ass nicknames. So 50%, a nickname is 50% of the battle. We even got Vinc Pichel to say that he understands and believes that same premise, Martin. We need to clip that after this is over with, by the way. Also, I need a screenshot of him flipping off the people who are like, yeah, send Vince some hate mail. He'll love that. By the way, don't bother Vince. He'll fuck you up.
That was a great fucking interview, though. That was awesome.
He was fun. It was fun to talk to him, man. He's a cool guy, and he's been doing a ton of media since he won that fight. And if you couldn't tell, because you weren't watching on the Twitch stream, which, by the way, shame on you, because you weren't watching on the Twitch stream, he actually has like a green screen and a full PC that he's built, like he said in the conversation. So it's pretty dope. Yeah. Check him out on Twitch as well. Pichel from Hell. So check him out. From Hell Pichel. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. From Hell Pichel. Pichel is spelled Pichel. Check him out. Yeah. So Martin,
let's go.
We got a fight night coming up, which means that we got a lot of fights that we haven't heard of that are on this card.
Yep.
My buddy Snowman, who's a big MMA guy, he hadn't heard of some of these dudes. So Don't feel too bad.
All right.
I got to move the board a little bit here. So Martin, tell the people how you did last week on your picks.
What did we? Unfortunately, we went 3-2. The second loss. Yeah, Sugar Shane O'Malley.
Yeah, man. We count that as a loss. You fucking lost, man. Come on.
Yeah, my boy lost. It was hard to watch. You could tell almost immediately something wasn't right. Then obviously the knee strike from Cheeto.
Yeah, Marlon Vera hit him in a nerve that shut down his entire leg, which almost never happens in MMA. It was like a freak thing.
It's what someone said. I think someone said it's happened on or like there's video evidence of only it happening 4 times or something. Like it's literally getting hit on a certain nerve in your leg that controls the fucking bottom part of from your knee down. He went for a kick or he went to walk forward and his foot just fucking didn't respond. Obviously, fucked him up. He went down. Cheeto got on top of him, hit him twice. Herb Dean, being the fucking great ref that he is, stepped in. You got to protect the fighter. He saw he was hurt. He knew that Sugar Shane O'Malley was not okay, so he stopped the fight. It sucked, but at the same time, you got to protect the fighter. And as a Sugar O'Malley stan and a huge fan of his everything, his persona, his fight style, just everything. It sucks to see the one go on the loss column, but what hurt even more, AShton, was the way, or I don't even say hurt, just pissed me off, was the way Cheeto acted after the fight. His actions.
He acted like a dude who won the fight.
No. He acted like he had just won the world fucking championship of the Royal Rumble, and then fucking runs his mouth, just.
He said that Sugar didn't have any dog in him, which is one of the greatest insults that you can give to a professional fist fighter.
You kicked him in a nerve. Congratulations. Like, it is what it is. Cheeto won. Sugar Shane O'Malley lost. I don't know what else you want me to say. I did well.
Wow, Martin's super heartbroken about.
Well, here's the thing. Valerie Lareda, who last week we talked about how.
Oh my God.
How she danced in the ring after her winning her opponent. She was clowning on Cheeto for the way that Cheeto acted. Like, when you're getting made fun of, like, when someone's calling you out for being too extra in your win from somebody that did a salsa dance after their fight, that's when you know you went to, like, if he had have actually made Sugar O'Malley go to sleep, you know, maybe that's when you did it. But to kick him in his nerve and punch him twice on the ground, congrats. I mean, Sugar Shane O'Malley said it himself. Like, he's probably not going to fight Cheeto again. He's looking at bigger and better things. Cheeto is going to be a journeyman, and that's the truth. Let's get into some of these nickname fights. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, wrap it up because it looks like the Magic are about to come back on the Bucks again. Anyway,
yes. That's what you like.
So, Martin, we got the. Let me get the microphone. Let me hold this microphone. Sorry, sorry, guys. Sorry. Anyway, that's exactly why I'm here on this podcast, right? Because I'm a professional. First fight of the night. By the way, we just put the order in that it is on SureDog and get the nicknames from there. Sometimes the order's not right in terms because they change the order like sometimes the day before because we've seen people test positive and like people get hurt or people pass out from trying to make weight. Anyway. This is Timur Lucky Valiyev.
There's like a million Luckies.
Hold on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Martin. Mark Mugen Striegel, 18-2. He's a Filipino fighter who his last bout was deemed a no contest because he struck his opponent in the nuts so hard he could not stand. Yeah, it was an inside leg kick, and his opponent couldn't.
Striegel's out.
Oh wow! Look at that. See, that's what what happened.
Timur is now fighting someone named Trevin Jones. Let's see.
So yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say
they haven't officially announced why.
That's not good.
They haven't said why he's out. They have announced
that was supposed to be Mark's first UFC fight ever. So that kind of sucks. Timur Lucky Valiyev, I have a strange feeling, is going to win this fight no matter what, Martin, because he is from a special place called Dagestan.
Yeah.
So we move on. Second fight here. Timur Lucky, we'll say he's on the table, even though we don't know his opponent, right?
Yeah.
Matt Semi the Jedi Smellberger. 16. He's 6-2. He's got 4 TKOs in those 6 wins. He is fighting Carlton Clutch Minus.
Oh, those are 2 good ones.
Yeah, so he's Carlton Clutch Minus is 10-1. He's got 6 TKOs, and get this, Martin, he's one of those Avalanche dudes. He fights out of Alaska, like out of Anchorage, Alaska. So that's really weird. I don't even know.
I can learn to
Third fight here. This guy is he's the only, hold on, let me double check. He's the only undefeated fighter on this entire card. He is 10-0. He's got 5 TKOs and 5 submission wins. Jordan the Beverly Hill Ninja Wright.
Okay.
Versus Isaac Hurricane Ike Villanueva.
Ooh, 2 good ones again.
16-10.
Jordan
the Beverly Hill Ninja Wright.
And what was his opponent?
Isaac Hurricane Ike Villanueva.
Hurricane Ike. I like it.
16-10. If you are a person who was affected by Hurricane Ike, you may or may not like him a lot. 16-10 is what his record is. I will say this: when the man wins, the man wins. He got 13 knockouts, 4-1 in his last 5. So he hadn't lost in a long time. Dwight Grant, who is 10-2, he's got 7 TKOs. This is his first fight since April 13th of 2019. He doesn't have a nickname. He's going up against another guy who doesn't have a nickname, but it's Kalen Bourne. He's 7-1 with 4 submission wins. This is a familiar name, Martin.
Yep.
Austin Thud Herbert.
Okay.
Hubbard. He's 12-4, 5 TKOs. We saw him fight earlier in quarantine as well. He's 3-2 in his last 5. Joe Selecki is the guy he's fighting. He does not have a nickname. He is, on the other hand, on a 4-fight win streak with 6 submission wins. He's 9-2 overall in his career. Mizuki Inoue, 14-5. She does not have a nickname. 9 submissions, 2 wins in a row for her. She is fighting someone who else does not have a nickname. Amanda Lemos, 7-1 with 5 TKOs. Now, this next fight, we have 1 nickname and probably one of the strangest records I've ever seen for a UFC fighter. Miria Agupao, 9-1, 3 straight wins. Her last win, sad to say, Martin, is against one of our faves. She beat Hannah Cyphers.
Oh,
shock.
Damn. I was going to say, I recognized her name.
Yeah, she beat Hannah Cyphers Shockwave in quarantine.
Okay.
Her opponent is Sean Danger Dobson. Now, don't get too excited about that. She's 3-4. She's 3-4.
How is somebody that's 3-4 on the main card?
And yeah, on the main card is the big emphasis here, Martin. On the main card, there's an undefeated fighter who is the 3rd fight of the night, and she is 3-4 in her career. And on the main card for this fight card, she's also from Arlington, Texas. So shout out to her if you want to subsequently support her because she is from Texas. This guy, remember him, Martin. He had that killer knockout during quarantine as well. Takashi Ten Sato. Sorry.
Yeah.
16-3. He got a win in quarantine versus Jason Witt. His opponent, another familiar name, Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez, 12-1 with 6 TKOs.
Okay.
So moving on. This is the third to last fight of the night. This is a funny one. Mike Slow Rodriguez. His nickname is Slow. He's 10-4. I respect a man who knows his physical limitations. He's 16-3 over. I'm sorry, he's 10-4 overall. He's got 8 TKO, so 10 of his wins have been knockouts. He's 2-1 in his last 5. One of them was like a no contest. Marcin Prashino does not have a nickname, but that is the opponent for Mike Slow Rodriguez. He's 13-4. Those 13 wins, he's got 10 knockouts, 10 TKOs. He is from Warsaw, Poland. Okay. If that gives you any indication of how he fights. He's a vet. Classic dude here. 24-14. Oven St. Preux. His nickname is OSP in honor of GSP, the legend GSP. Lost 4 of his last 6 is Oven St. Preux. 11 TKOs. His opponent, very talented from Dallas, Texas. Hashtag fuck Dallas. No offense, just fuck Dallas. Alonzo Minifield, 9-1, 8 TKOs. And he took his first loss June 6th.
Okay.
Which is in quarantine in the UFC. This is the final fight of the night.
There's no nicknames for
Minifield does not have a nickname. Ovince St. Preux is OSP. There are 2 nicknames in the finale, in the final fight of the night. Haven't had that in a while.
Yeah.
Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz, 18-4. He's won 3 of his last 5. He's won 8 of his last 10, Martin. This kid can cook. He out here winning these fights. His opponent is DQ'd.
Why? Oh, because he shares a nickname. I was about to say, they DQ'd Frankie?
His opponent is Frankie Edgar, whose nickname, which, by the way, I like Frankie Edgar a lot. I don't know if Martin likes him because of that one time he fought his boy, fought Lucky Charms. He fought Lucky Charms that one time.
Yeah.
But Frankie's nickname is The Answer, which DQs him because of AI.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson's nickname was The Answer. So,
all right.
Yeah. 23-8. 23, but Martin still has to pick the winner of the finale, though. That's how it goes. 23-8, 8-1. He's lost 3 of his last 5.
I don't
Frank's
have a lot to.
Also been a title contender.
I don't
for a long
really
time.
have a lot to choose from this week.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
got-
said. Some of them are not good. Like some
Yeah.
of them just flat out are not good.
Like OSP, can't choose that because it's just initials. D-Rod, can't choose that. Frankie, I probably wasn't gonna pick Frankie anyways, but he's out. Shauna Dobson, I'm not picking someone that's 3 and 4. Tell me a little bit more about.
You gotta pick
Pacino.
off the strength of the name, man.
I just need one more to make it an odd amount of picks, so that we don't go like 500 on the night. Tell me more about Prasino and Mike Rodriguez.
Wait, hold on. Mike Rodriguez. Mike Rodriguez is in a weird spot, man. He's 10-4. Most of his fights have happened in the UFC. So Marcin, his opponent does not have a nickname, but he is from Warsaw, Poland. He's got 10 knockouts. Nothing too. We can look.
Is there any more on the prelim? I'm struggling to get 5 here. What's Amanda's?
Are you? Unless Semi the Jedi is on there, you should definitely pick him.
I've got Jedi.
All right. Here's something that'll help you. Mike Rodriguez has a 8-inch reach advantage.
All right.
On the Poland dude, like
Mike
Slow Rodriguez has an 8-inch reach advantage.
I'm gonna put it out there. Slow.
And here's another selling point. He's a 10th planet jiu-jitsu guy. He fights with Eddie Bravo.
All right. Not the best nickname, but we'll add him to the list just so we have 5. So here is my list. I'm going to start from the bottom, like Drake did, and work my way to the top. We're going Matt the Jedi. Is it Simon?
Matt Semi the Jedi Smellberger.
It's Semi the Jedi?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put that in there. So Semi the Jedi. I'm going Jordan the Beverly Hill Ninja Wright.
Of course. Just couldn't. Yeah.
I like the random ones like Violent Bob Ross and other like From Hell Pichel. Those.
Shout out to Bob Ross. He shouldn't have lost that fight.
All right, Takashi Tin Soto.
Takashi 10 instead of 6'9". It would have been hilarious if you just like my nickname is 6'9".
Wait, is it 10?
Yeah.
Like 10 like the number or 10?
Yeah, Takashi 10 Sato.
Okay, 10. All right, we've got 2 weird ass names I'm picking, but Mike Slow Rodriguez, and then as I always do, I pick the main event even if we don't have a nickname, but luckily we've got 2 nicknames to choose from. But I'm gonna go with Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz to round it out. Unfortunately, not some of the greatest nicknames are on this card. This is a filler.
It wasn't even like a lot of bad ones. It was just like a very few amount of nicknames in general.
Yeah, this is a bit of a filler card in my opinion. We're slowly working towards 253. They just have to throw something together to have a card for each weekend.
And it was after and it was like, we're coming off a big weekend.
Yeah,
one of the greatest of all time retires. So
wasn't it back to back? Oh wait, no, it wasn't back to back pay-per-views. It was just back-to-back UFC.
Back-to-back title fights. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Derek Lewis 2 weeks ago, and then Stipe.
Yeah, those are big-time fights. But, yeah, shout out to everybody who sticks around for the podcast to this point, makes it all the way through the end. We appreciate you very much. And make sure you tune in, check out the show on Spreaker, Google Podcasts. I'm waiting on that email, and then we'll be on Apple Podcasts. I finally figured out how to do that. We are on Spotify. Check us out all over the interwebs. Check Martin out at Martin Pape _ capital MATR. Wait, did I spell right? MARTYNPAPE _ Check him out there. Check me out at FB _ playbook. Check me out on Instagram at the AShton Forever. The word forever is spelled out. What else you got here, Martin? Oh, make sure you download the Thrive Fantasy app. Use the promo code BROKEBOY. You get a $20 credit if you deposit at minimum $20 on your first deposit. You get $20 for free. You can place prop bets on esports. You can place prop bets on all the other major sports when they are up, daily fantasy stuff, and for the upcoming NFL season as well. So check that out. Get on it. And that's all I got, Martin. You got anything else?
No, that's it. Take it easy, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thanks for Vinc Pichel for stopping by.
Yes.
It was a great fucking interview. Looking forward to his next fight. Looking forward to this weekend's fights and all the NBA and every other sport action. Champions League final on Sunday. It's going to be a great fucking weekend of sports.
No doubt. Only one thing left to say, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, sorry, before I say the last thing, wash your hands and wash your ass. Other thing to say, stay home, Roger.